Everything comes down to this. It is Championship Sunday right here on the Corn Belt League Network. I'm Ethan McCormick, joined alongside my good friend Arnav Pokhrel. Everything came down to this. Filth Ballers, Red Raiders, we're here at Iowa Western. We had a little bit of a fiasco to get to this point, but we're here.
I think a little bit of a fiasco is a huge understatement. Talk about setting up a whole broadcast over at Seymour Smith. The weather comes in, downpour. Everything is ruined, basically, with water. We're covering things up. We're saying maybe we'll wait this one out. Last-minute decision, move it to Iowa Western. An incredible crew with us here today to help us move everything over here. It's been tough, but eventually we made it. We're here. We've got a broadcast running, and we couldn't be more excited for you.
Yeah, the sun was out. If you look at the skies right now, it doesn't look like we just got poured with rain just 30 minutes ago. Beautiful facility. Let's take a look at the matchup that we're going to be having here at Iowa Western today. It's the 3-seed Red Raiders and the 4-seed Filth Ballers. The Filth Ballers had to go through the Rail Riders and the Blue Dogs, and the Red Raiders took care of the Haymakers and the Bombers. Both teams had upsets. Both teams took care of the lower seeds. It's a pretty good matchup we got going on here today.
Yeah, and I'm really excited as we take a look at that Filth Ballers victory last night over the Royal Blue Dogs. And it wasn't what we were expecting from the Filth Ballers, a team that's really struggled when it comes to pitching. They were able to come in relief. Cody Bruss goes 4 innings pitched, only gives up 2 hits, no earned runs. A huge stat line there for the Filth Ballers. He really carried that team. And then our player of the game was Anthony Nino, came in the triple. With a triple in his 7th inning, he was our player of the game. He had 2 RBIs, and he cranked that ball into right field, Ethan. That one was flying.
Yeah, he hit one deep right center. But I think what's most notable to me is that the fact that this was a pretty even game. Filth Ballers had 9 hits. Blue Dogs had 8 hits, 1 error for both sides. So it was a pretty evenly fought game up until that 7th inning where the Filth Ballers take the lead. Now, for the Red Raiders, however, the Red Raiders blanked the Bombers, the 7-seed Bombers, in their game on Saturday 3-0, and they were led by an absolute gem from Tyler Spreitzer.
Talk about both of the pitchers. Tyler Spreitzer, we'll mention him first because he got the W. 7 innings pitched, complete game. His 2nd complete game in a row. He pitched one during the closing stages of the regular season as well. Only gave up 2 hits, no earned runs, as you mentioned, a shutout. Here's the big thing. Only 87 pitches through 7 innings. Incredible, efficient night for the Red Raiders. But you can't mention this game without mentioning Aaron Petty. He came in, got rocked in that bottom of the 1st inning, gave up 3 earned runs. But after that, locked in, didn't give up a single run after that. An incredible showing. He only gave up 5 total base runners, as you can see there, for the Bombers. But unfortunately for them, it was just too little too late. They couldn't do anything to Spreitzer.
And with Spreitzer going that deep, that really opens up the bullpen and the pitching possibilities for this Red Raiders team.
Yeah, we've mentioned it this whole season. The Red Raiders are one of the deepest teams in terms of pitching arsenals alongside the Royal Blue Dogs, who faltered last night. The Royal Blue Dogs had the best team ERA going into last night. Obviously, that changed a little bit, but the Red Raiders were right behind in this entire regular season, sitting in 2nd place, just under a 3-team ERA, which is crazy here in the Corn Belt League because we've seen some high ERAs just because of the inning counts and some pitchers having to come in, some position pitchers having to play, but an incredible showing this entire season from the Red Raiders. And we were talking about this before the postseason season even started. The Red Raiders have a chance to go all the way just because of that pitching depth.
100%. These two teams have faced each other 5 times previously in the regular season. The Filth Ballers taking a 3-5 advantage. You got on your screen on June 12th. They played a doubleheader where the Filth Ballers took both games. And then on June 13th and July 18th, the Red Raiders got the advantage and tied the series at 2 apiece. And then on July 25th, the Filth Ballers creeped out to that lead as they won 6-3 on July 25th.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good thing to look at what we see over the regular season, but you kind of throw all the records out the window, especially when it comes to a championship game like this. I mean, all these players dealing with nerves, dealing with pressure, and obviously the coaches, when you talk to them, they say, oh, it's just another ball game. It really isn't just another ball game. This is the most important ball game of the season. It really determines how successful of a season you have. So, I mean, sure, there's been a record previously, but it all comes down to this, Ethan.
100%. We're going to step aside real quick. National Anthem will be going on here at Iowa Western. We'll get you some starting lineups, and first pitch will be underway here from Championship Sunday right here on the Corn Belt League Network. back to Iowa Western Community College. We're just a mere moments away from first pitch between the 4-seed Filth Ballers and the 3-seed Red Raiders. Let's get you some starting lineups. First for the away team, Filth Ballers, leading off and playing short, batting first, Brendan Hillis. Batting second, number 21, playing third base, Carson Burnett. Batting third, playing first, number 48, Matthew Rivers. Batting fourth, DH, number 34, Anthony Nino. Batting fifth, number 9, playing catcher, the man behind the plate today, Cooper McCoy. Batting sixth, number 25, playing second base, Cy Patterson. Batting seventh, number 11, Lyndon Bergman. He'll be playing left field today for the Filth Ballers. Batting eighth, number 17, Peyton Larson. He'll be manning center field. Batting ninth, number 4, Cody Bruce. He'll be playing right field. And batting 10th, number 7, Tristan Brandt. He will be the extra hitter. And then we'll highlight the man on the mound for the Red Raiders today, number 44, the 6'7" right-hander from Minnesota Morris University, Josh Ostin. Josh Ostin comes into this ball game. He's started 6 games, but he's appeared in 9. Thrown 39 and 1/3 innings with a 3.66 ERA, a 1.55 whip, 29 strikeouts to 22 walks, and an opponent average of 262. And he is tasked with shutting down this Filth Ballers lineup.
I mean, you want to talk about a guy that looks imposing on the mound? You talk about 6'8" Josh Ostin, right? And he's done it this season where he's been a little bit streaky. He's had those hot games where he goes 6, almost 7 innings, even complete games with 1 or 2 hits allowed. And then he has these games where he'll give up 3 runs in the first inning, kind of be shaky. So we're hoping to see that former side of Josh Ostin today. Once again, a really big, imposing guy on the mound. He's going to be throwing with that downward velocity a lot. Loves that 2-seam, 4-seam fastball mix, as well as throwing in a changeup here and there. So we'll see how Ostin does today against the Filth Ballers lineup that's been hitting better in the month of July.
First pitch from Ostin is outside and in the dirt, or I guess I should say turf. We've got a turf field here at Iowa Western, so in the turf for ball 1. And Brandon Hillis is ahead in the count to start the game here early. And Hillis will take ball 2 high and outside.
Hillis, after a really good quarterfinal and semifinal matchup, has bumped his average up a little bit to that 300 mark, so reach that monument.
Strike 1 from Ostin, catches the outside part of the plate. Hillis is still up 2-1.
There's that 2-seam fastball from Ostin, that little outside to inward movement that we see from the top of the mound.
Ostin goes high once again, but misses a little too high this time. 3-1 count, advantage, Brandon Hillis.
And Ostin loves that high 4-seam fastball. He'll go back to it all day. He'll tease these batters with those high pitches.
The pitch will be outside, and Brandon Hillis leads this game off for the Filth Ballers with a 5-pitch walk. The Filth Ballers have a runner on here early in the top of the first.
Yeah, and Hillis is really good at getting on base, and then when he gets on base, he'll look to advance. He has 5 stolen bases on the season, 1 time caught stealing. So we'll see how he does with Burnett up to bat.
Burnett, the do-it-all man for the Filth Ballers. He can get it done on the mound, can get it done at the plate, and he's the starting third baseman today for the Filth Ballers. Hillis gets a good lead off of first, and Ostin misses outside for ball 1.
Ostin started off here behind both of his hitters. So we'll see if he can get those first pitch strikes to help him out a little bit here.
Ostin comes set, delivers the 1-0. It'll be in there for strike 1, a 1-1 count here for Carson Burnett.
It's a good recovery pitch there for Ostin. You get behind the count, you just fire one straight down the middle, force the batter to make a swing, and Burnett doesn't there.
Burnett comes into this game with a .333 batting average. The pitch. Hillis is off. That ball will be caught in right field by J.J. Schubert. Can he get the tag up? No, he cannot. Hillis gets back just in the nick of time. The bad throw from J.J. Schubert allows Hillis to get in there just in the nick of time.
Yeah, Schubert really underthrew that one. Maybe just a little bit different placements to where he's at here at IWCC compared to Seymour Smith. But that ball reached the first baseman, Weiss, on one hop, allowing Hillis to get back in time. If that ball was direct to Weiss, I think that's a double play for the Red Raiders.
And Matthew Rivers steps up to the plate with a .349 batting average. He leads this team in that respective statistic. Hillis gets a shorter lead off of first. Ostin misses outside for ball 1.
And Rivers is another guy who's been cranking during these playoffs for the Filth Ballers. Started off in the quarterfinals, went 2 for 3, 3 RBIs, really had himself a game, and then tacked on another 1 for 2 outing, I believe, yesterday. This has been a great playoff stretch here for Rivers, the man from DMAC.
Ostin comes set, delivers the pitch. Swung on and missed by Matthew Rivers. Rivers a little bit behind for the first strike.
You know that's one he'll want back. That's a pitch he's cranked and turned on all throughout the month of July, and he'll step back in, hoping for another pitch just like that one.
Hillis taking more conservative leads this time around as Osteen gives a look at him, but it bounces off the umpire's chest, so that ball stays in play for the Red Raiders. Could be a lucky break for the Red Raiders.
And you saw how Hillis was looking at that umpire in disbelief. That would have been a free second base for Hillis, but if that didn't bounce off the umpire, but instead Hillis will remain at first.
Osteen comes set, strides home, misses high. It'll be a 2-1 count. Hillis is getting a little bit more conservative with his leads over that first. The secondary leads aren't as big. Osteen comes set with the 2-1. Glances over at Hillis at first. Comes home. Ball outside and throws it down to first, but does not get there in time. Brisbois is the man behind the plate for this Red Raiders team. This battery between Osteen and Brisbois is going to be a key for the Red Raiders.
Yeah, and we've seen it all throughout this entire Corn Belt League season. It's no mistake that we see Brisbois and Osteen back out there in this championship game. It's a very comfortable battery between the two.
Hillis is off the swing and a miss by Rivers, and Hillis will get in there after that ball gets away from Brisbois. That'll be a stolen base for Brendan Hillis. So that'll move a runner into scoring position here for the Filth Ballers. And that was a swing and a miss on the pitch by Matthew Rivers. So it'll be a full count here with one out and Hillis leading off a second.
Brisbois, not the greatest defensive catcher out there. For 14 stealing attempts on him, he's only caught 2 runners stealing.
And Rivers flies that one into right field. J.J. Schubert back at the track, gets a hold of it. Hillis will tag and advance 90 feet to third base. After the sac fly advancement from Matthew Rivers puts Brandon Hillis on third, 90 feet from home.
And you may be used to seeing the Corn Belt League at Seymour Smith Park, and you may be trying to figure out these new sun angles, but these players are used to it. They play at both Seymour Smith and Iowa Western, so hopefully a little bit of familiarity between the two fields when it comes to where the sun's at and trying to adjust themselves into sun, as we see Schubert do there in right field.
Cleanup hitter number 34, the DH, normally behind the plate, Anthony Nino steps up, who bombed a triple at the wall in yesterday's semifinal win. And he hacks that one down the left field line. That ball is hit very well. That ball will be foul as Blair Spees was tracking that one, but that ball was hit hard.
And he's been doing it all season. You look at his batting average, it's 190, but talking to him post-game last night, he said, I've been hitting the balls hard. I've been getting the balls to where they need to go, but they've just been into fielders' gloves. They're really unlucky. You see a batting average of 190, you think maybe the hitter's struggling. He leads the team with 13 RBIs, so it hasn't been a terrible season here for Nino.
Osteen comes home, is outside. It'll be a 1-1 count. This is a pretty big backstop, so a pass ball could bring Hillis home depending on placement of the ball and how far it gets behind Brisbois. Osteen comes set. Delivers home. Just misses off the plate. It'll be a 2-1 count here. And the Ninos watch back-to-back balls.
And you mentioned the backstop as well. A little bit less foul territory than what we're used to at Seymour Smith, but it still is a pretty good amount of foul territory. 4 plays to be made there in foul territory for pop-outs to force someone out.
And the 2-1 pitch is outside. It'll be 3-1 now for Nino.
And Osteen is losing his control a little bit when he falls behind these counts. He's trying to chase after pitches on the corner. Sometimes you just got to rear back and throw a strike.
The 3-1. Osteen comes set. Looks over at Hillis at third. Comes home. It'll be a ball 4 outside, so runners will be at the corners here for the 5-hole hitter in Cooper McCoy.
And if I'm Brisbois here, I might go out and have a conversation with Osteen. You've got 2 outs. All you need is one more batter to ground out. You got a force at second. You know the runner's probably going to head here soon over to second base to try and get 2 runners into scoring position. Maybe try and calm down Osteen a little bit.
Osteen's thrown quite a few pitches here in this one. As McCoy steps up to the plate, this will be Osteen's 20th pitch coming up here on the first pitch of the at-bat to Cooper McCoy. First pitch will be high for ball 1.
Once again, falling behind in the count early against the batter. He misses that first one for a ball, and just like you mentioned, out of 20 pitches, he's only thrown 7 strikes, so he's really got to put some balls in the zone. And sure, if batters make contact to it, but you got to trust your fielders a little bit here if you're Osteen.
Osteen cannot catch that outside part of the plate as McCoy has worked himself to a 2-0 advantage. Nino leading off of first, Hillis leading off of third. Runners at the corners, 2 outs here, the 2-0 pitch. In the dirt, good block by Brisbois, keeping that in front of him. It'll be a 3-0 count.
And here it is again, another 3-0 count where Austin, one bad pitch, and you've got bases loaded here with 2 away.
Austin's got to throw his 3 best pitches. Coming up right here, starting with this 3-0 pitch. 3-0. Catches the zone right there. It'll be a 3-1 count. Good job by Austin on starting to chip back.
That's what he's been trying to do this entire game. That two-seam on the outside half of the plate just hasn't caught the corner of that plate like he's used to this entire season. Finally gets one call there.
The 3-1 from Austin as he strides home. It'll be outside for ball 4, a 5-pitch walk from Cooper McCoy. Loads up the bases here for the Filth Ballers with 2 outs in the top of the first.
And here goes Brisbois out to have a conversation with Austin. I mean, you got bases loaded. You still have 2 outs. You just got to get one if you're Austin here and you're out of this jam.
As you can see, the battery today for the Red Raiders to start this ball game, Dylan Brisbois and Josh Austin. Talking things over, trying to calm down his pitcher out there on the mound. We got bases loaded. Brendan Hillis, the leadoff man, on third. Anthony Nino at second, and Cooper McCoy at third. And the man from DMAC, Cy Patterson, has the opportunity to break this game open here and start the party early for the Filth Ballers.
Could go either way. Austin could also end the inning here with a ground ball.
As Austin misses high for ball 1, Cy Patterson looks down to his third base coach and head coach for this Filth Ballers team, Jonathan Francisco. So Austin comes set with the 1-0. That ball will be fouled out of play down the first base line over in this beautiful Iowa Western Community College Sports Complex. We went from Seymour Smith in Nebraska, we crossed the Missouri River, and now we're here at Iowa Western. The 1-1 from Austin. It'll be in the dirt. Another great stop by Dylan Brisbois behind the plate, and he keeps a run off the board for the Filth Ballers.
Brisbois looks like a smaller catcher, but he moves really well, really agile, and then when he gets up to plate, we'll talk about him there, but he's got some raw power.
So Austin comes through with the 2-1, and he misses high once again. It'll be a 3-1 count, and Austin's got to battle back here as he's dealing with a little bit of early adversity.
Knows he's got to throw a strike, but so does Cy Patterson.
The 3-1. It'll be hacked at, and that'll be a called strike, so a full count pitch. Ready for Cy Patterson from Josh Austin. This would be a big full count strikeout. Bases loaded, 2 outs. The full count pitch from Josh Austin. That ball will be grounded over to Braden Jackson at second. He'll corral it and throw it on over to first, and Josh Austin is able to work himself out of a bases loaded jam. No runs on no hits. Bases loaded for the Filth Ballers, and we go down to the bottom of the first, and the Red Raiders look to tax them on. Of the first here at Iowa Western Community College. Let's take a look at the starting pitcher for Jonathan Francisco's Filth Ballers. Number 28, the right-hander Quinn Zaborski comes into this game, starting 5, appearing in 7. 38 innings with a 1.90 ERA, 108 whip, 39 strikeouts to 13 walks with a 217 opponent's batting average. And this is a championship game starter that Jonathan Francisco puts out there on the mound.
Yeah, and you want to talk about a guy who's thrown a ton of innings and shown that he can do his work. 38 innings leads the team, but then also that 1.89 ERA. Stand out, not just amongst the team, stand out amongst the entire of the Corn Belt League.
Yeah, he's one of the best, and he will be tasked with going up against this Red Raiders lineup, which starts with Blair Spees, Chris Calhoun, Dylan Brisboy, Braden Jackson in the cleanup, and Ashton Sheaver will be batting 5th. Nick Shanez will be batting 6th. Ty Beasley, Jaden Mache, Connor Wise, and J.J. Schubert will be filling out the rest of the lineup for Dwayne Hosey and Zach Young's Red Raiders team, who comes into this ball game counting the playoffs 14-13 and the 1 tie.
1 tie just really sticks out like a sore thumb for both of these rosters. Wish we had those even records, but unfortunately, time constraints, inning restrictions means that we did end a game in a tie earlier on in the season.
Lefty on righty matchup as Blair Speed steps up to the box and takes ball 1 as that one hits the backstop. Blair Spees, the speedy left fielder who has made some great defensive plays early on in the season and has gotten that bat going as of late, will lead things off here.
When Spees gets on, expect him to run. He'll be aggressive on the base paths just like this whole team.
As Spees fouls that one out of play down the third base line, it'll knock the count up at 1 apiece. Blair Spees is exactly what you would want as a leadoff man. 1-1. Catches down and in for Quinn Zaborski. And he's up to a 1-2 count early here. Blair Spees gets ready to receive the 1-2. That ball will be chopped on over to third. That ball will be foul as Carson Burnett let that one trickle foul. And we'll do the 1-2 once again. Here's how the defense is lining up for the Filth Ballers. Cooper McCoy and Quinn Zaborski's the battery today for the Filth Ballers. Matthew Rivers at first, Cy Patterson and Brandon Hillis playing the middle infield, with Carson Burnett playing third. The hot corner, Lyndon Brugman, Peyton Larson, and Bruce out in the outfield, manning the grass out there for the Filth Ballers.
Just one change for the Filth Ballers today. It's in the outfield, other than the pitcher, of course. It's Bruce in right field coming in. Dane Garner had played there a couple games in a row. But in reality, Dane Garner's a middle infielder, just kind of stuck out there. Trying him out, test him out, didn't do too bad, obviously. Had a couple of really great throws from the outfield. But today, getting Bruce out there allows him the chance to hit. Bruce, normally a pitcher, closed out the game yesterday, like we talked about in the pregame, with 4 innings. We'll see what he can do at the plate and in the field.
As Quinn delivers home inside for ball 2, knots the count up.
Almost caught Spees there. He was looking for that call. Couldn't find it.
He was trying to sell. Sometimes as a hitter, being an actor is just as good as actually being a hitter. As the 2-2 from Quinn is on its way. That ball will be grounded up the middle as Cy Patterson gets it, backhands it, and throws it on over to Matthew Rivers at first for the first out of the bottom of the first, for the Filth Ballers.
Soft contact there from Spees, not what he's normally used to. Hustled over to first, almost made it a close play, but the Filth Ballers clean on the field, and it'll bring up the center fielder here, Calhoun.
Chris Calhoun, you go from a lefty to lead off the game to a righty, so a righty-on-righty matchup here for the center fielder, Chris Calhoun. Chris Calhoun swings and misses at strike number 1.
Good first pitch there from Zaborski.
As you look at Zaborski on your screen, the right-hander throws the pitch, and Chris Calhoun wanted to get it down, but his bat did break the plane, so that'll be strike 2, as no more bunt for Chris Calhoun, because if it goes foul, that's an out.
And I like the move there, trying to catch the defense off guard. He's a really good pull bunter. Drag bunter, I should say.
As the 0-2 just misses off the plate, it'll be a 1-2 count. Quinn Zaborski wanted that call right there on the 0-2.
And McCoy did a great job framing that pitch, but the umpire has none of it, and it'll be a 1-2 count.
The 1-2 from Quinn. That ball will be skied high in the sun. Cy Patterson calls off Rivers, and he corrals that in for out number 2. That sun could be a problem, but Cy Patterson fought the sun
Yeah, just good movement, good communication on defense. Really all the basics that you learn when you start learning baseball. And just another routine play there for Patterson, calling off Rivers and making the catch.
Dylan Brisbois steps up to the plate, the big left-handed hitter. 3 home runs on the year. He possesses all the power, and he will hack at one here as Carson Burnett gets called off by Brendan Hillis. Brendan Hillis corrals that one in, and crisis averted for the Filth Ballers from Dylan Brisbois. But we go to the top of the second, and nothing ball game. Neither team has recorded a hit right here on the Corn Belt League Network. Top of the second here from Iowa Western Community College, and Josh Olsen goes back out there for his second inning of work. Threw 30 pitches in that first inning. He looks to shorten that up here as he will go up against Lyndon Brugman to start things off for the Filth Ballers. It'll go Brugman, Larson, and Bruce. It'll be 7-8-9 due up here for the Filth Ballers in the top of the second.
Yeah, like you mentioned, Olsen really struggling there in that first inning. He's got a little bit of an easier lineup to deal with here towards the bottom of the order. Bruce, a pitcher, so we don't even know if he can hit or not. So we'll see if he can rear back, cut that pitch count, down a little bit here in the second inning.
It's the first pitch from Ostin. Gets fouled out of play down the third base line, right over the Red Raiders dugout. It'll be an 0-1 count.
That's a good way to start for Ostin. You force yourself ahead in the count in 0-1. A lot of things you can do here with an 0-1 pitch, try and get them to chase, but I expect Ostin to go with that two-seam on the outside half of the plate. That's what he loves to do. That's what he's been doing all season.
As that ball will be just tipped behind Brugman, but it'll be a foul ball. It'll be an 0-2 count as, like you mentioned, Ostin's now up early. He's got to be able to capitalize.
Yeah, and expect either that two-seam again, he just threw it. He'll probably throw it again here, or he'll go high here with the fastball and try and catch Brugman swinging.
Ostin from the windup. Up and in. Little sweet chin music for Lyndon Brugman right there. It'll be a 1-2 count.
Keeps Brugman honest, maybe trying to push him back off the plate a little bit, but either way, Ostin's got a few more pitches here to play around with.
Ostin, the 1-2. That ball will be reached at and slapped foul. We'll do the 1-2 once again.
Brugman did not look like he wanted to swing at that one, just kind of half-heartedly threw his bat at it, hoping to get contact, and he did. He got lucky there with that foul ball. He'll step in again with a 1-2.
And Ostin, 6'8", physically intimidating presence out on the mound as he delivers the 1-2. Held back by Brugman. They check down at the third base umpire. He says, no, sir. So we'll do the 2-2.
And when Ostin goes high, it's pretty high on the batter. That one's up above that Filth Ballers logo on Brugman's chest. It's hard not to swing at something that's coming because you think it's going to come down and drop in the zone. Good check there from Brugman.
The 2-2. That ball will be roped into right field. J.J. Schubert ranges back to his right. That ball will be dropped. That ball gets behind Schubert as Brugman will coast into second with what is most likely going to be ruled an error by J.J. Schubert. So that'll be an E9 with Brookman standing on second as the result.
And you got to feel for Ostin there. Gets ahead in the count, forces a soft hit there to right field, but Schubert just kind of lost in the sun and he was tracking back. Lost his focus on the ball, and it ends on the ground.
That sun is pretty dangerous for right side of the field fielders, second base, first base, and the right fielder, and we saw evidence of that right there.
Yeah, Spies and Calhoun are totally fine. They're in the shade already over there in center and left, as you see on the backside of your screen. It's just Schubert over there and right that's going to have that sun right in his eyes.
As Peyton Larson takes the first pitch he sees and skies that one into center field. Chris Calhoun gets it. Lyndon Brugman will tag and head to third, and he will be in there in time. So Peyton Larson does his job, advances Brugman 90 more feet, and we've got runners in scoring position here with one out.
And it brings up Cody Bruce, who's a pitcher. Close out the last game. He was told by Coach Francisco, and I was talking to Coach Francisco pregame, if you close this game out for us and we win, I'll let you hit tomorrow. So maybe this is just a one-time thing for Bruce. Maybe we'll see Garner back in the game later. Nobody knows with Coach Francisco and a pitcher at the plate.
Yeah, this should be interesting. He is a lefty standing at the plate, and I believe he was also a lefty pitcher as well. So a little left-handed pitcher, left-handed hitter action here for Cody Bruce. And he will watch ball one high. Yeah, yesterday you guys saw Cody Bruce go out on the mound in relief for Jeff Miller, and now you're seeing him take his first plate appearance of the season right here in the championship game, and he will swing. Tried to hold back, but it'll go anyway for strike one.
I think that's just a little bit of an experience there. Hasn't checked a swing probably since his high school days. So he gets caught out there and Osa, and now he levels the count 1-1.
The 1-1, that ball will be missed high and outside. It'll be a 2-1. Think Bruce is kind of nervous out there?
I think I would be. You know, you're a pitcher. You pitch the whole season, and all of a sudden in a championship game, you're thrown to the plate. We'll see how he does.
The 2-1 for Bruce. That ball will be slapped at, but it'll be a foul ball. It'll hit off the roof of the bullpen on the third base side. Do have to note that Blair Spies, Chris Calhoun, and J.J. Schubert have a little bit of an outfield shift going on. Blair Spies is playing closer to left center now. So Ostin comes set with the 2-2. And we'll call time as Bruce wants to think things over.
I think that's the right move with a player like we said a million times here during this at-bat. Inexperienced hitter, he's probably going to end up pulling it. So I like that little bit of a move there in the outfield.
The 2-2, that ball will be hit right back into the netting. It'll be the 2-2 once again.
We'll see how good Bruce is at fighting back on counts with the foul balls. He's hit a few already, so already made contact with the ball, just needs to put it in play now.
The 43rd pitch of the game here for Ostin. That ball will be swung on and missed, and Ostin gets his first strikeout of the ball game, and it came at a pristine time, as now the only way for the Filth Ballers to score is a ball in play, 2 outs.
Brings up Tristan Brandt, the extra hitter for the Filth Ballers. He's had a pretty good postseason himself. Had a good few last games, trying to build off on that.
As Brandt swings and hacks at the first pitch. He wanted all of that one. It'll be an 0-1 count.
Good for Osen to recover. He's been getting ahead in pitches now, getting ahead in at-bats, in the second inning.
The 0-1. As Brandt swings and misses at that one, and he wanted that one. You can tell he was looking up at the sky, looking down at his first base coach. He wanted that one back. The 0-2. Brugman on third, 2 outs, top of the second inning. Ostin blows it right by Tristan Brandt. And back-to-back strikeouts gets Ostin out of the inning, and we go to the bottom of the second, and the Red Raiders have something cooking right here on the Corn Belt League Network. Bottom of the second here, and Quinn Zaborski goes out for his second inning of work. Through 12 pitches in that first inning, 9 of them were strikes. That is a 75% strike ratio for Quinn Zaborski in that first inning.
It's a completely different story between the two pitchers. We saw Osteen go out there, through 20 pitches in the first inning. He was 7 strikes, so a bit worse of a percentage. But Zaborski's out there throwing strikes. Red Raiders making a little bit of contact. They've hit a couple sharp foul balls, but trying to put one in play here.
It'll be Braden Jackson leading things off, and he'll take the first pitch he sees and chops it over to Cy Patterson at second, and Zaborski's able to get over there in time. It'll be the first out of the inning.
Yeah, good pitcher awareness there to get over to first. Realize that Rivers was charging on that ball. Even if he didn't get there, that he was needed at first, and good speed by Zaborski to make sure that Jackson, who has a bit of speed himself, doesn't get that infield hit.
100%. And we will see Austin Sheaver step up to the plate here, and he'll take strike one. Nice framing job right there by Cooper McCoy. You could actively see him move the glove straight over. It'll be strike one.
Flashing the leather, a literal statement there for Cooper McCoy. Incredible frame job from him.
So Austin Sheaver will swing and miss at strike two, and Quinn Zaborski is working very quickly out there on the mound, not wasting any time.
He's efficient, he's throwing strikes, and the batters are missing everything you could ask for from your starter here early on for the Filth Ballers.
The 0-2 ready for Sheaver. Sheaver grounds that one. Zaborski jumps, gets the ball, and will have a nice little toss over. Little outside the bag, but Rivers applies the tag for out number 2. And Zaborski's thrown 4 pitches in this inning, and he's gotten 2 outs.
Well, another good fielding play there from Zaborski. He made the run over to first for the first out. Gets the assist there for the second out. A little bit of a tough throw there to Rivers, but Rivers deals with it well enough. Realizes that he's off the bag and applies that tag. Bring up Nick Shinez.
Pitchers can field too. Pitchers can field too. As Nick Shinez steps up to the plate, takes ball 1 inside. Nick Shinez is your starting third baseman today for the Red Raiders, and he mans the hot corner quite frequently for this team. The 1-0 pitch for Shinez. That ball will catch the upper inside part of the plate for strike number 1.
Shinez on the season, a .293 hitter, so just under that 300 average for this Red Raider side.
And he watches strike 2 catch the outside part of the plate, and Quinn Zaborski working efficiently once again. 1-2 count here for Zaborski to Shinez. The pitch misses low as Shinez has a watchful eye and knots the count up at 2-2.
20th pitch, 15 strikes, so he's held consistent there with that 75% strike accuracy. An incredible number here through 2 innings for Zaborski.
The 2-2, that'll be in the turf once again. Full count. Good job working back now for Nick Shinez.
Shinez, though, with 2 outs, trying to start this 2-out rally before the bottom of the order comes up here for the Red Raiders.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here for Quinn Zaborski. That ball will be grounded right up the middle. Brendan Hillis is tracking, gets it, throws on the run over at first, not able to get it to Rivers cleanly. And that'll be an error on the throw for Brandon Hillis, as he was able to get over there in time, but cannot make a clean throw.
Unfortunate play there for Hillis. He does a great job to charge at it, attack the ball, does everything right in terms of fielding, but then that transfer and that throw, just a little subpar for Hillis, and Rivers unable to stretch and get there.
That'll be ruled an E6 in the scorebook. Both teams now have recorded an error. And now Ty Beasley, the starting shortstop for the Red Raiders today, as Shinez gets a lead off of first. Ty Beasley will rope that one into right center field. That ball will drop for a base hit. Shinez round second. He's heading to third. Shinez is being rounded home. He will be scored at home plate, and the Red Raiders jump out to the first advantage of the ballgame after a Ty Beasley 2-out RBI double into right center field, and the Red Raiders get things cooking here early.
And look what it means to this entire Red Raiders squad. Everyone coming out of the dugout to celebrate that run being scored. Shinez flying around from first to third as Beasley gets all of that pitch into right center.
And you can feel the energy radiate in this ballpark. The Red Raiders all came out, the crowd on their feet. This is championship baseball, and we live and breathe for this moment.
Every single game has been a Game 7 atmosphere, and this one more than most. So Incredible there for the Red Raiders to get that first hit of the ball game and score that first run.
The extra hitter, Jaden Mache, foul tips one, and they're going to say it's a catcher's interference by Cooper McCoy. So that is an interesting way to get on base. You don't see that very often, but Cooper McCoy got his glove a little too far in the swing plane.
Yeah, and I think everyone knew that. I think Cooper McCoy even knew that. He stood up, took his mask off, and walked a few steps away to see what went wrong for him there.
As Connor Wees, the 9-hole hitter, looks to continue things going here for the Red Raiders.
And everything's happened with 2 outs. As a reminder, everything that's been going on, all Zaborski needed was just one more out, and they just haven't been able to get it time and time again. The Red Raiders get one, and then they continue to add on hits, mistakes by the Filth Ballers. It's gone from bad to worse here for Zaborski in the bottom of the second.
Ty Beasley, the man who scored the run, or brought home the run, leads off a second. The pitch, beautiful pitch from Quinn Zaborski, changed his arm angle for strike number 2.
You mentioned that changing arm angle. Just trying to differ it up. See if you can get something to work here as you try and finish off this bottom half of the inning.
0-2 count here for Quinn. To Connor Wise, this would be a huge strikeout with 2 outs. Runners on first and second, and he decides to look back at Beasley. Beasley leads off a second. Jane Mache, after the catcher's interference, leads off a first. And Connor will be waiting for the 0-2. Quinn comes set.
Beasley second on the team, 19 stolen bases for him this season. Another speed guy for the Red Raiders.
That ball misses down and away. Good eye by Connor, and it'll be a 1-2 count here with 2 on, 2 outs in the bottom of the second. A lot of 2s. Quinn comes set. Looks back a couple times, delivers. Breaking ball misses a little too far inside. Back-to-back balls from Quinn, and it'll be a 2-2 count.
You want to talk about how a difference in quality at-bats. The Red Raiders only have 3 quality at-bats so far in this game. The Filth Ballers with 8. And yet, look at the scoreboard. It's 1-0 Red Raiders.
The 2-2 pitch gets in there for strike 3. Quinn Zaborski gets a huge strikeout, but the Red Raiders do strike. 1 run on 1 hit off the bat from Ty Beasley. The Filth Ballers got to start climbing back right here on the Corn Belt League Network. Top of the third, and you've got a live look in the Filth Ballers dugout as they come to the plate looking to bounce back after Ty Beasley ropes one into right center field and brings home the Red Raiders' first run of the game.
Yeah, Nick Shanez was flying. He knew as soon as he heard that crack of the bat that Ty Beasley caught all of that one, and as soon as he looked up and saw it in that right center gap, he was headed home. It's very deep walls here, 400 to center, so it's about 380 or 370 to where Ty Beasley hit that. It was rolling all the way to the warning track. Shanez says, "Thank you very much," turns on the Jets and scores for the first run of the ball game. I mean, really, he reached on an error, so it's issues that could have been avoided for the Filth Ballers, but they'll have to deal with it here as they've got the leadoff man Hillis up, and so it'll be a chance with the top of the lineup to attack Austin again.
And Hillis in his last at-bat walked, and then he later stole second as Austin starts him off with a beautiful looking strike 1.
Yeah. Austin's been loving that first pitch fastball, changes it there with a little bit, goes to the off-speed changeup. He does have a cutter in his arsenal, but we've yet to see it today.
As the second pitch is down and away for ball number 1. Hillis got stranded at third in that top of the first inning. The pitch from Ostin, it'll be missed outside for ball number 2.
All 3 base runners left on base in that top of the first inning where they had everyone on base. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Ostin gets out of it. And they left another runner on in the second. 4 runners left on base here, including 1 at third, which really sucks for the Filth Ballers. You were wishing to bring him home, start off this game with a bang, and score a run in the top of the first with the bases loaded. Instead, you're sitting down 1-0.
As the 3-1 misses high, a 5-pitch walk. Brendan Hillis gets back-to-back walks in his at-bat. And we will bring up Carson Burnett, the big hitter for the Filth Ballers.
Also a really extraordinary pitcher. Plays that hot corner, really just a utility guy you can put anywhere on the field. I would even trust him in center field, even though I don't think he's ever played there in this Corn Belt League season. Just an all-around athlete who can get it done on the mound and in the field.
The young man from Olone College who has been a star for Filth Ballers this year will foul that one straight back into the netting. It'll be an 0-1.
You talk about where these two teams were last year. Obviously, things change. Head coaches change. Player personnel changes. Filth Ballers went 23-6 in the regular season. Breezed their way to the Corn Belt League Championship game where they had a come-from-behind victory against the Haymakers. The Red Raiders last year, 6-21. Dead last in the league, and they're in the championship this year.
As Hillis catches Ostin sleeping, we might have a little bit of a pickle situation. Hillis running back to first is able to get there in time. They called him out. He came off the bag, and great heads-up awareness by the first baseman over there. Connor Wise kept the tag applied, and that is a huge and mistakenly out number 1 for both sides.
Yeah, and Hillis just had way too much momentum. He got caught in the pickle, was hustling back. Ostin, a little bit of a mistake there. He threw that ball way too late to Weiss, but Weiss with a good awareness to keep the tag applied as Hillis just kept on sliding. And once again, it's that turf playing a factor. It's not going to stop you as easy as the dirt does, so Hillis just kept on going.
Carson Burnett now works with the blank canvas, and he fouls that one out of play. Right back in the little courtyard we got back here behind us, and it'll be a 0-2 count.
And just an incredible facility here at Iowa Western. They've done things right, and that's why they're one of the best junior colleges when in terms of baseball, because they got a beautiful facility to play it in.
The 0-2, and Carson Burnett will rope that one into left center field. That ball will drop for a base hit. He's rounding first, but he will hold at first after he was rounding first with a lot of steam. But Peyton will hold him over there at first.
Yeah, Spees got there quickly and was able to rifle a throw back into Beasley, the cutoff man. And even though Burnett's got speed himself, Spees is just a little bit faster there in the outfield, reacted to the ball well, even though he couldn't get there. And eventually the throw in kept Burnett at first.
That'll be Jackson Stensgaard is the first base coach for this Filth Ballers team today. Carson Burnett will lead off of first. He gets a decent lead with Matthew Rivers getting ready for the first pitch, and Matthew Rivers will hack at that one, foul it back.
And Rivers is really good at fouling balls back, just getting under them too much, just missing them a little bit behind. But as soon as he locates a pitch and gets a swing on time, he can hit for power.
The 0-1 ready for Rivers. Well, watch strike 2. A little bit down, a little bit away, but catches the lower half of the zone. Rivers in his last at-bat flew out to deep right field.
You'll see Rivers in his batting stance. We like to talk about a lot every time he gets up because he's so far crowding the plate, but then he'll sit back a little bit and push his weight towards his heels.
As Rivers watches strike 3 on the outer half of the plate, and that is a big strikeout from Josh Ostin as he painted the outside part of the plate.
This is one of those games for Ostin where he's up and down. He hasn't really settled into his groove just yet, but he's getting through batters with a slight efficiency. I wouldn't say it's the greatest. Gave up 6 plate appearances in that first inning, but since then he's settled down a little bit, is slowly mowing these guys down. He's 2 away here in the top of the third and a chance to put them away.
The oh-so-hot hitter for the Filth Ballers, Anthony Nino, steps up to the plate, and he will hack at that one. That ball is hit very high. It is still in play. They were chasing on it, not able to get to it as that ball coasts straight into the Filth Ballers bullpen. Both players lost their hats. Both players had their shields, their head shields, fly off their heads.
If that's not effort, I don't know what is. When you're running that hard that your hats fly off and your sunglasses go everywhere, that is commitment to the Corn Belt League, and we'd love to see it here. An interesting thing to note is if that ball is caught in the bullpen, is that an out? Because it technically is out of play, but they technically did catch it. We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
We'll cross that bridge if we ever get the directions to that route. But from now on, we will be in mystery of that call. An 0-1 ready for Nino. Misses high, ball 1, with Carson Burnett leading off of first.
That might have to be a Google search for us, Ethan. Now that I've thought about it, I just can't get it out of my head.
Right.
We'll have to take a look at that during our next break. See if we can find any answer.
The 1-1, that one will be skied in that general direction. Once again, J.J. Schubert hustles, is able to get to it. The great hustle by J.J. Schubert gets the run in catch in the territory, loses his hat shield once again, and we go to the bottom of the third with the Red Raiders looking to tack on to their advantage right here on the Corn Belt League Network. Iowa Western plays host to the bottom of the third here in Championship Sunday between the 4-seed Filth Ballers and the 3-seed Red Raiders. The Red Raiders were able to get up to an early advantage in that bottom of the second inning with the Ty Beasley RBI double with 2 outs.
Yeah, and he just caught all of that one. That ball always tailing away from Peyton Larson in center field and right in between Bruce and Larson. And also, we have an answer to the question that we posed. If a ball is caught, a foul ball, in the bullpen past that white line that you see on your screen, it is out of play, so it does not count. It'll be ruled a foul ball, and you get another pitch.
Now, it was kind of surprising to me because it's open. It's like you can run in there, but I guess the rules are the rules. And Quinn Zaborski pitches to J.J. Schubert, and J.J. Schubert will watch ball 1 low. I did think that was kind of a interesting ruling, thanks to our PA guy for this championship game, Connor Shelton, for supplying the rule.
First time up here for the right fielder in this game, but Zaborski's throwing a good amount.
And J.J. Schubert will ground that one over to Brendan Hillis. He backhands and throws it on over to Matthew Rivers in time for out number 1. It's a quick out number 1 for the Filth Ballers.
Yeah, but it'll bring up top of the order here in Spees, and Spees will be looking for more than last time. He had a good hit, but it was right to the second baseman for that 4-3 out. He'll look to change that here.
We go back to the top of the order, and now the left fielder, Blair Spees, steps up to the plate. Blair Spees in his last at-bat, grounded to second base, and he will watch ball 1 inside. If you look at the box score and take away the runs, this is a very even game. 1 hit for both sides. Filth Ballers do have 2 errors, but the Red Raiders have 1. As that ball will be hit right over Brendan Hillis' head, and Blair Spees gets his first hit of the ball game. He was rounding second, thinking he was going to get a double, but pulls back, and he'll be at first, and that'll be a 1-out single for Blair Spees.
Spees is fast. Spees is fast, but not that fast to get to second there in time as he'll head back to first. And just a quick look at the pitch count differences. Obviously, Osten's got that extra half-inning pitch, but he's at 60 already 32 strikes, so he's picked up that strike-to-ball ratio just a little bit. Zaborski, 31 pitches thrown, 21 strikes.
And Chris Calhoun squares up to bunt on the first pitch of the at-bat. These are two of the fastest players in the league right here, back-to-back, as well as Braden Jackson, who's batting cleanup. So the Red Raiders led the league in stolen bases throughout the regular season. A little hit-and-run situation here, possibly brewing here for the Red Raiders.
Yeah, 111 stolen bases. That's no easy feat, even for some of the fastest guys in the league.
Blair Spees is off. Chris Calhoun pulls back the bunt, and Spees will be in there. That was a bang-bang play at second base. That was really close. But Blair Spees is in there with his first stolen base of the championship game.
Not the best jump there from Spees. He was late getting out there. McCoy had a chance to catch him if that throw was on line, but that throw to the other side of the second base bag, which means that Spees can slide in head first safely.
Runner in scoring position now for Chris Calhoun, a 1-1 count. Pitch due for Calhoun. That ball will be outside and a little bit low. That'll be a 2-1 count as Chris Calhoun is now ahead. You got to think that with Blair Spees' speed, one on the ground in the outfield could be enough to score him. Quinn comes home, looks back, comes home, catches the outside part of the plate for Chris Calhoun, knots the count up at 2 apiece.
Spees this year, only 7 stolen bases, has been caught 4 times. So out of 11 attempts, he's been doing well. It's Chris Calhoun who's led the league with 24 stolen bases throughout this season.
And that is the man at the plate, the 2-2. In there, inside for ball 3. It'll be a full count now for the 2-hole hitter, Chris Calhoun.
Calhoun, just a lot of pace there at the top of the lineup, and kind of reminds me of Danny Sponberg, another stand-up player we had last year. He finished the year with 30 stolen bases. Calhoun just 6 away from hitting that record as well.
The full count pitch. That'll be in there. A 7-pitch walk for Chris Calhoun, and we got runners on first and second with 1 out. And the 3-hole hitter, Dylan Brisboy, the ever-so-dangerous Dylan Brisboy, comes up to the plate.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Spees and Calhoun try a little double steal here. Spees has got the speed, and Calhoun obviously has the speed to get Brisboy 2 runners in scoring position. Brisboy, I don't think there's anyone else you'd want on this Red Raiders team other than Brisboy with runners in scoring position.
The left-handed hitter, Dylan Brisboy, gets ready for the first pitch from Quinn Zaborski. Pitch. Catches the outside part of the plate. A beautiful breaking ball from Quinn Zaborski gets him up in the count 0-1.
Yeah, good movement from left to right and up and down, really just doing everything that breaking ball needs to do. Brisboy, nothing you can really do about that one.
Brisboy now has to work behind in the count, ready for the 0-1. Looks back at Spees. Breaking ball once again, but it misses a little far outside. It'll be a 1-1.
You got to see for Zaborski, if he tries this pick to second base, it's a big lead at second for Spees.
Playing aggressively on the base paths. The 1-1. Looks back at Spees once again. Hillis comes off from the cover. Dylan Brisboy laces that one up the middle. Hillis, the 6, the 4, the turn. Gets him in time. The 6-4-3 double play from the middle infield of the Filth Ballers. Gets him out of the bottom of the 3rd. We go to the top of the 4th, and they look to start to climb back right here on the Corn Belt League Network. pitcher for the Red Raiders is the left-handed reliever, Drew Haferkamp, coming into the ballgame in relief for Josh Ostin, who went 3 innings of no-run ball. That's exactly what head coach, or filling in head coach, I guess, Zach Young wanted from his starter.
Yeah, you wanted to keep Ostin on a short leash, and he was getting up there in the pitch count, already 60 pitches thrown. He did recover a little bit from a tough first inning where he threw a majority of those 60 pitches. Just losing his control a little bit, was falling behind early in the count. And as you slowly get towards this bottom of the second time through the lineup and towards that top of the third time through the lineup, you got to think it's the right move here with a pitching arsenal like the Red Raiders have to bring out the relievers. And Haverkamp, 27 innings thrown this season, has a 3.66 ERA, so a little bit higher there for Haverkamp, but his 1 loss on the season has 1 save out of 1 opportunity, so a chance to earn a second save for him on this season as well.
And the lefty blows gas by Cooper McCoy for the first strike of the at-bat.
The only thing really concerning here with Haverkamp is that strikeout-to-walk ratio. He's sitting at 28 walks on the season, only has 26 strikeouts, so he's striking guys out. He's also walking a good amount of guys.
The 0-1 is in there for strike 2. Cooper McCoy is down early 0-2. In his last at-bat, he drew a 5-pitch walk.
That's what you'd like to see early on from Haverkamp. You're getting in a game, a championship game. You know the nerves are going to be juiced. Settle down, throw strikes.
The 0-2 swung on and missed from Drew Haferkamp, a 3-pitch strikeout, and he has the momentum on the bump early.
I don't think you could have started any better there for Haverkamp. A 3-pitch strikeout, just love to see it for Haverkamp, and he'll settle in against Cy Patterson, who grounded out to second the last time, just trying to maintain this 1-run lead for the Red Raiders.
And that could be a mojo builder strikeout for Drew Haferkamp, and he delivers the next pitch, just misses off the plate to Cy Patterson for ball number 1. Patterson, his last at-bat, grounded out to second base, deep second base. The 1-0, it'll be in there for strike 1.
Good pitches here from Haverkamp. I'm loving this early work that he's put in, just throwing strikes, forcing Cy Patterson and the rest of the Filth Ballers, saying, hey, if you're not going to swing at my pitches, I'll take the strikes.
As Haferkamp misses outside for ball 2, it'll be a 2-1 count, and Cy Patterson's now ahead. Two balls, 1 strike. Ball 3 misses high. It'll be a 3-1 count here for Drew Haferkamp to Cy Patterson.
3-1 here. You're expecting something over the zone.
Ball 4 misses outside. A 5-pitch walk for Cy Patterson. And Haferkamp, a strikeout, a walk to start this top of the 4th.
I mean, just like we mentioned, that strikeout-to-walk ratio, he's 1 for 1 already in this game. 28 walks coming into the season, make that 29. 26 strikeouts coming in today, make that 27. So right on par with what we've expected from the entire season from Haverkamp.
Now it's a lefty-on-lefty matchup between Brugman and Haferkamp. And he takes that one off the back. That'll be a hit by pitch. Brugman took that one right off the lower spine.
That one's got to sting a little bit. He'll be feeling that one tomorrow, but he'll take the base for now as it pushes Patterson into scoring position. And Haverkamp, after starting with that strikeout, has given up 2 free bases to Patterson and Brugman, and it'll bring up Peyton Larson.
The Concordia, Nebraska University product, Peyton Larson, steps into the right-hander's batter's box with runners on first and second. And he will swing and miss at strike number 1.
One of many CUNE products, not just on this Filth Ballers team, but out of the entire Corn Belt League. A really good representation of the Bulldogs here in the CBL.
As the 0-1 pitch, and he will ground that one straight into the Red Raiders dugout. It'll bounce off the fencing in front of their dugout.
Yeah.
You see the starting pitcher, Josh Ostin, running down there. And that's cruel having your starting pitcher run down there after foul balls after giving you 3 innings of scoreless work.
Yeah, make one of the relief pitchers. Make that their dynamic warm-up. Just chasing after foul balls over and over again. That'll get you nice and loose here as you prepare to come into a game.
Ball 1 missed outside. Man, yeah, you got to make one of your relievers go out there and get one of those. But nonetheless, we will do the 1-2 with 1 out and runners on first and second. That ball will be inside. Just misses inside for ball number 2. Patterson leads off of second. Brugman leads off of first. Larson has an opportunity. The 2-2. Misses outside for ball 3. Good job working back for Peyton Larson.
Yeah, Larson here, full count with 2 on. You don't want to hit a ground ball. That's the one thing you cannot do in this situation. A walk, you'll take. A strikeout, at least you still have 2 guys on base. Ground ball, absolutely a no-no here for Larson.
Full count pitch. That ball will be skied high into shallow right field. Jackson Schubert. Schubert calls off Jackson. No tag. The cannon from Schubert shuts down the advancement. That was an absolute missile.
Wow.
From right field.
What a throw from Schubert. He lost his hat in the process. That's about the 3rd or 4th time that's happened in this game. He's been absolutely flying with effort, and the throw there absolutely launched over to Shanez at 3rd. Shanez, a good job to pick that one off, because if he lets that one get through, that's a free bag there for Cy Patterson.
Now Cody Bruce, who's got his 2nd plate appearance of the season, and he will catch one coming right at his jaw inside for ball 1.
And good work there from Bruce, avoiding that one. That one's headed straight for his face.
The 1-0 here for Cody Bruce. Patterson leads off a second, inching a little further, and the jump pick throws back at Patterson, almost hits him in the back of the head, and he'll be in there in time.
Good work there from Beasley to make the call over and keep Patterson honest there at 2nd.
Still got a 1-0 after that pickoff. Haferkamp looks back and delivers home. We'll be in there for strike 2. Nice pitch from Haferkamp. Had some sweeping action on that fastball.
Yeah, just that horizontal movement, and Bruce may be used to throwing pitches like that. He's probably not used to seeing them and in the batter's box. So
1-1 count here for Bruce. Outside for ball 2. Good eye by Cody Bruce.
2-1 count here. Bruce has worked himself into a slight advantage, as Haverkamp, when he falls behind, tends to keep falling behind, as seen with the 2 free bags given up already to Patterson and Brugman.
2 balls, 1 strike for Cody Bruce. Catches the outside part of the plate, knots the count up at 2-2. Maybe a pitcher's friendly call.
I would have to agree with that one, and maybe Bruce knows that as well. He steps right back in, doesn't complain about the call there.
He is a pitcher himself, so he maybe quite understands the 2-2. That ball is outside for ball 3. A full count. This would be a huge walk for Cody Bruce and the Filthballers.
We'll see what Bruce can do as he reapplies that pine tar and steps back into the box. And a really important pitch here. 3-2, 2 outs.
That ball will be roped down the left field. That ball will drop in there for a base hit as Cody Bruce rounds first, heading to second. That'll be a 2 RBI double for Cody Bruce. The pitcher comes into the batter's box, gets a clutch 2-out RBI double, and gives them the lead here in the top of the 4th.
I mean, wow, Ethan, we could not have been proved wrong more, because the pitcher comes in. We were talking about, it's his first 2 plate appearances. Absolutely cranks one. Spees gets a late jump on it, and Cody Bruce may have just found himself a new position.
Yeah, I mean, he was pleading for Jonathan Francisco before this game to get some reps up at the plate, and he made the most of it right there, giving the Filthballers the lead in the top of the 4th. And now Tristan Brandt comes in, watches ball 1 inside. I could argue Tristan Brandt has some of the best flow in the game.
It's up there. Him and Schubert out there and right with the losing the hat fiasco he's got. 2 of the best in the game.
As Brandt watches ball 2 outside, got that luscious locks flowing out of his helmet. Looks quite well. Looks like he could be a Head and Shoulders candidate for an advertisement coming up here pretty soon.
Someone's got to call the NIL offices.
The 2-0, that'll be in there for strike 1. Nice pitch from Haferkamp as he's looking to battle back after that 2-out, 2 RBI double from Cody Bruce.
Talking about it, though, the day where it was 99 degrees a couple days ago felt like a 109. That must have felt like a 115 for Brandt there at the plate with that hair, just not allowing the neck to breathe a little bit.
And the young man batting in the 10 hole gets the 2-1. In the dirt, good stop by Brisboy, keeping that ball in front of him and keeping that in play. It'll be a 3-1 count now here for Tristan Brandt. Brandt has the opportunity to put 2 runners on here. The 3-1. That ball will be in the dirt. A nice walk from Tristan Brandt. A 5-pitch walk. And now we got runners on first and second here with 2 outs still for the Filth Ballers.
It's the same situation as before when Bruce was up to bat. There was 2 on first and second. 2 outs and a full count, and Bruce delivered. We'll see if Hillis can do the same for the Filth Ballers to keep on extending their lead.
And Brisboy goes out to talk to his pitcher, and Braden Jackson comes back out. Just trying to calm down Haferkamp, maybe make some game plan. As you've got Cody Bruce and Tristan Brandt on second and first respectively. And we go back to the top of the order in Brandon Hillis, who has walked twice but had a base running mishap in his last time on the base paths. Got caught in a pick-off scenario, I guess. The first pitch. That ball will be swung on and missed. A good hack at it from Brandon Hillis.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, the Hillis pickoff just entirely a boneheaded mistake there from Hillis, but he'll look to recover again as he gets another chance here in the next inning against a new pitcher as well.
Hillis, the starting shortstop for the Filth Ballers in today's ball game, gets ready for the 0-1. He'll be in there for strike 2. A beautiful pitch sets up outside for Haferkamp, and this would be a big strikeout here on the 0-2 with 2 outs. Haferkamp comes set, looks back at Bruce, looks home, delivers home. That ball will be fouled back into the netting behind home plate. We'll do the 0-2 once again. Hillis can continue this big top of the 4th inning here for the Filth Ballers. And he will swing and miss at strike 3. A big strikeout from Haferkamp, but the Filth Ballers did the damage in the top of the 4th. 2 runs on 1 hit after a Cody Bruce 2-out RBI double. And the Red Raiders look to respond in the bottom of the 4th. Zaborowski have to make a quick correction as we've been saying his name wrong.
We're told one thing and then we learn it's a different thing, so we apologize.
Our apologies up here in the press box. We will say it right from here on out. Apologize to him and his family for mispronouncing his name. But Braden Jackson will lead things off here for the Red Raiders after they are now behind in this ballgame after a 2-run top of the 4th. And Braden Jackson will lead things off.
I'm still just amazed that Cody Bruce came in and dropped an absolute rocket into left field right on the correct side of the foul line. It was tailing to the left. I mean, you could not ask for a better piece of hitting from any fielder, and for a pitcher to do that, incredible.
100% agree, and Braden Jackson will just chop that one over to Matthew Rivers, and he'll mosey over and step on first for the first out of the bottom of the 4th.
And Zaborowski's still out there. He's the guy who started for the Filth Ballers. He'll look to go probably an inning or 2 more. Francisco likes to change his pitchers around that 5 2/3 type inning to get your setup guy in, and then you bring your closer in for the 7th. We'll see how long Zaborowski's leash is here as he gets towards the end of that range.
The first pitch to Sheaver, and Sheaver hacks at it. His helmet almost fell off, and it'll be an 0-1 count. Sheaver grounded out to the pitcher in his last at-bat.
Yeah, just weak contact throughout recently for the Red Raiders. Ever since they got that run, Zaborotsky's locked in and forced a lot of shallow balls, a lot of choppers like the one you just saw to Rivers.
It'll be a 1-1 count here. That ball just misses as Cooper McCoy has been doing a great job framing. Could not get the umpire to get convinced on that one. It'll be a 2-1.
Yeah, McCoy's been absolutely electric back there at catchers. You never see framing highlight clips, but if we could make one here for Cooper McCoy with the work he's been doing behind the plate.
Prime example. You spoke it into existence as Cooper McCoy frames that one into strike 2. It'll be a 2-2 count. Arnav, my friend, you spoke it into existence.
I mean, it's electric. It's electric from Cooper McCoy. You can't help but get hype about it as McCoy frames that pitch for another strike.
The 2-2 pitch ready from Quinn. Austin Sheaver looks to battle or get on the 2-2. That ball will be outside for ball 3. Close, but no cigar for Quinn, as it is now a full count.
Zaborotsky now a full count. He's just got to settle in, throw something hittable because these Red Raiders hitters have not been getting good contact.
As that ball will be grounded on over to second, and Patterson will get on it, throw it on over in time to Matthew Rivers for the second out. The bottom of the fourth, and Quinn continues to work efficiently out there on the mound.
Zaborotsky's looking like he could go a few more innings at the least, and there's only 3 more innings left in this game after this one.
Now Quinn is in line to be the winning pitcher in this ball game. You wouldn't think that just an inning ago. But yeah, he is now in line to be the winning pitcher in this championship game. First pitch is swung on and missed. A beautiful breaking ball there, and it'll be strike number 1.
Zaborotsky's really locked in recently. These past 2 innings have been great here from Zaborotsky.
The 1-0-1, is in there for strike 2. The gas. Zaborotsky right there. It'll be in there for strike 2. We got an 0-2 count. The 0-2. That ball will be roped on over to Cy Patterson. Gets it on the run and throws it on over to first for out number 3. We go to the top of the 5th. We'll do a little switcheroo up here in the press box, and they'll do a little switcheroo out there on the field as the Filth Ballers go up to hit right here on the Corn Belt League Network.
Back here at Iowa Western Community College as we get set for 5th inning action between the Filth Ballers and the Red Raiders in this championship Sunday. I'm Arnav Pokhrel, joined by the one and only Ethan McCormick beside me. And Ethan, it's been a great game so far. Final 3 innings, only 1 run separating these 2 teams. What do the Red Raiders need to do to get back into this one?
They got to start getting harder contact up at the plate. The weak contact has been plaguing them as we've got a hit in the left field.
Yeah, Burnett absolutely slices that one through the ground in between Beasley and Shanez, and he'll head over to first for a leadoff single. in the top of the fifth. The Filth Ballers leading 2-1, trying to extend that lead here with 2, 3, 4 up in the lineup between Burnett, Rivers, and the cleanup man, Nino. Rivers steps in, the man from DMAC, with Burnett leading off first. Big contact there from Rivers, but it's fouled off behind and to his right.
And this won't be the last game you'll see of Matthew Rivers. We'll see him in the Wichita Summer Ball Showdown here starting on Wednesday. We'll be making that trip down. You and I will be making that trip down to Wichita and Goodard, Kansas. That's technically where it takes place, starting on Tuesday.
Yeah, beautiful complex down there in Goodard, the Genesis Health Sports Complex. 5 fields back to back to back to back to back to back, and it's a really fun time. And we'll have a lot of cool stuff planned here, either on the YouTube channel or through our social media, Corn Belt League on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. You name it, we're probably doing something for it. A lot of fun stuff that we've got planned, and we want to include you guys in on the experience as well. The 0-2 count here for Haverkamp against Rivers. Burnett leads off first. The 0-2, well outside. He's going to get to the backstop. Burnett goes 2.
Having Burnett and runners with a runner in scoring position, having him on second base is a huge advantage for the Filth Ballers. A real 5-tool player. He can get it done on the mound, out in the field. He's kind of the Shohei, I guess you could say, is his comparable. But he is that guy for Jonathan Francisco and the Filth Ballers.
Rivers will now reset with a 1-2 count. Big swing and a miss to get Rivers out, striking. And he'll head back to the dugout for the first out of the top of the fifth inning.
And that's Haverkamp's go-to pitch on an 0-2, 1-2, or 2-2 is that fastball. Electric. It comes out of his hand with that kind of that weird arm angle for righties and lefties. And so he can blow that right by hitters. And he did so right there. That's a big out, number 1.
It'll bring up Nino, who's been hot recently from Allen County Community College. 2 for 3, 2 RBIs last night, including that RBI triple in the 7th. First pitch just on the outside corner of the plate to miss for 1-0.
Nino was the hero last night for the Filth Ballers. He got him to this point here, and this time it was Cody Bruce, but Nino can continue on being hot up at the plate and solidify a spot in Corn Belt League history.
The 1-0 touches off the glove of Brisbois, and over to third is Burnett, and he might head home. Instead, he'll step back a little bit and head over to third. And Haverkamp's really lost his control recently. That's 2 wild pitches now, advancing Burnett from first all the way over to third. And a chance for Nino to put the Filth Ballers lead up 1 more and double it.
100% Burnett with your runner in scoring position and a dangerous hitter with Anthony Nino up at the plate. This could be a 3 or a 2-run ball game just with the snap of your fingers.
Here's Haverkamp. Well inside, it's going to hit off the inside knee of Nino. That one's going to sting as he'll limp over to first base. You got to hope he's okay.
Yeah, that can be a real stinger. It catches you on the calf. It catches you on the hamstring back there. That'll for sure bruise, but those are
heading on that Wichita trip. But Ethan, I mean, a pitcher who's done it all season. He's one of the more experienced guys in terms of total innings pitched. Tell me what you know a little bit about Sylvain.
Yeah, he's a primary reliever. He's appeared in 13 games. He does have 1 game start, however, but he's thrown 25 and 2/3 innings pitched, faced 115 batters. He's got 8 earned runs, but he's striked out 32 and he's walked 17. That's a good strikeout to walk ratio with a 1.45 whip, a 2.08 opponent's batting average, and a 2.20 ERA. A shutdown guy, good strikeout to walk ratio, electric fastball. This is the type of guy you want on the mound in this situation.
Yeah, and you're thinking 2 innings here, Sylvain, as he blows one by McCoy to get the first strike. And like once again, another University of Minnesota Morris guy. You got to think it's comfortable for him to come in a game where maybe they've done this in college. Ostin starts and Sylvain comes in relief. Looking to go 2 innings, maybe even more if he can go. As another pitch right past McCoy. He's got McCoy swinging twice already.
And you'll see Sylvain work quickly on the mound. He doesn't waste time. He gets the ball from the catcher. He's right back out there ready to attack. But now there's no pitch count here or no pitch clock, so he's got to be at the mercy of the hitter. But he likes to work quickly.
Sylvain set again, right on cue, the 0-2. Down low in the turf for 1-2. Runners on the corners, Burnett at third, Nino at first. Burnett stole 2 bases due to wild pitches from Haverkamp, the previous pitcher for the Red Raiders, after reaching on a single into left. Contact from this one for McCoy. Deep into center field. Running under it and making the catch is Calhoun. Runner tags at home. It's a long throw. It's not going to be on line. And 1 run scores. McCoy's sacrifice fly brings in Burnett.
And McCoy did his job to succession right there. That ball was loud contact. Off the bat, that sounded like that could have gone 390, 400 feet. But Chris Calhoun was able to camp underneath it. Gave it a good, strong effort. That was a strong arm getting it home. But with Burnett's speed and how deep that ball was hit, that's a great sac fly for the Filth Ballers.
Yeah, 380-foot throw off of a few steps of momentum. It was never going to happen for Calhoun, although you do applaud the effort. As it'll bring up Cy Patterson with Nino on first.
It must be noted that that run will not be credited to Slavane. That'll be credited to Haferkamp, who did strand the runners on for Slavane.
And even then, just a 2-run deficit for the Red Raiders is not the worst thing in the world for Sylvain. As another high ball, this one's launched into the sky. Running under it, tracking it is Shanez, and he'll make the catch, and that will be the end of the top of the 5th inning. Filth Ballers extend their lead by 1. It's 3-1 as we head to the bottom of the 5th here on Championship Sunday. Welcome you back here at Iowa Western Community College Championship Sunday, the final game of the 2023 Corn Belt Collegiate Summer Baseball League Tournament. And what an incredible season. Not just tournament, it's been an incredible season, and it all culminates in this final game between the 3-seed Red Raiders and the 4-seed Filth Ballers. 3-1 your score right now. The Filth Ballers with a 2-run advantage as we head into the bottom of the 5th inning. Up to bat is Ty Beasley, a man who had an incredible season last year in the Corn Belt League. Cooled off a little bit this year, but has still stayed pretty productive and an exceptional fielder as he takes the first strike, and it's a 1-1 count.
He's been productive in this game. He brought home the only run of the ball game so far here for the Red Raiders, so he's been productive here in this playoffs.
Big game player for Ty Beasley as he looks at the 1-1. It's low and away for 2-1.
Beasley's just got to be patient. The Red Raiders got to start working some quality ABs and forcing strong contact. They got to start getting some runners in scoring position and really working the pitch count for Quinn, who's been working efficiently.
Yeah, Zaborowski's been doing great work on the mound ever since giving up that run. He's really settled in, done his job. And you mentioned it, the Filth Ballers have double the quality at-bats that the Red Raiders have. They've got 16. The Red Raiders only have 8. So they really got to step that up here if they want to try and claw their way back into this one.
And they need to be in double digits up to this point. The fact they're in single digits is really storytelling for how this game has gone for them so far.
Well, this will be a quality at-bat here from Beasley. He's been doing well, and I believe that will be the second quality at-bat for Beasley so far. As he steps in for the 2-2, just trying to work up that Zaborowski pitch count. He cranks another foul ball right behind us here in the Iowa Western press box and steps out of the box. Probably stung the hands a little bit on that one. Caught that one a little bit inside.
Yeah, if you get knobbed like that, especially when it's cold, that stinks when it's cold. It rings your whole body. But, yeah, those are definitely ones that you want to stay away from.
Here's the 2-2. Zaborotsky to Beasley. Another foul ball will go again for time number 4.
Ty Beasley, yeah, this is a quality AB. Like you said earlier, this is exactly what the Red Raiders needed. Now he needs to get on, though. That would be the ultimate win in this battle between Zaborotsky and Beasley. But let alone, this is still a great at-bat.
Here's Zaborotsky, another 2-2. Another foul ball. It's deja vu. Over and over and over again we go.
Ty Beasley's just seeing the ball out of Zaborotsky's hands perfectly. He's reading the break. He's reading the speed. And he's really been able to predict what he's been able to throw. He's just got to be able to piece one and barrel one up right here on what feels like the 6th 2-2.
As he'll take one there for 3-2 and worked a full count after so many pitches thrown in the at-bat already. It wasn't even a full count, and good eye there from Beasley as he now settles in with a full count. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 5th. He's the first batter. That one well inside, and Beasley will head over to first. So just like you mentioned, an intense at-bat, a battle between Zaborotsky and Beasley comes out on top. He'll walk over to first base.
100%, that's a huge win for Beasley right there. But now the Red Raiders are going to have to start backing him up. The Red Raiders are in the bottom half of their lineup. They got Jane Mache coming up to the plate here. But you got a little meeting of the minds out there on the mound between the battery, who has gone 4 full innings in this one, and it's been really fun to watch Zaborotsky go out there and perform the way he's been able to perform. So we'll see if he can kind of get out of this little one runner on, no out jam.
Yeah, Mache, Weiss, and Schubert still due up here in the bottom of the 5th inning. We'll see if Zaborotsky can face all 3 of them. As like you mentioned, it's been an incredible showing. You needed a big game pitcher to show up. Ostin struggled a little bit. Haverovsky struggled as well for the Red Raiders. But Zaborotsky on this side has been doing incredible work for the Filth Ballers.
100%. And if you remember the last time Mache was up to the plate, it was the catcher's interference. That's how he got up to the plate in his last at-bat. So that's not credited as an at-bat for Mache. It was one pitch, swung at it, got in the way of Cooper McCoy. So that was how he got on in his last plate appearance.
So this is really the first time that Mache is seeing Zaborotsky in full. The runner goes. Great throw from McCoy. It's in time. Makes contact with the face, but a tag is a tag, and Beasley's caught out there at second. A great throw from McCoy, and a good play there from Patterson.
That's a questionable send right there from the Red Raiders. Ty Beasley's not known for having the best speed. That was a very poor jump. That was just interesting. I know you want to play aggressive. This is Championship Sunday, but that was just not good, as Ty Beasley has a total – I guess Ty Beasley does have 19 stolen bases, just didn't get the jump that he desired for on that pitch. So that was just unfortunate for the Red Raiders.
Another pitch hit and fouled off by Mache. Count now sits 0-2 for Mache in the bottom of the lineup.
Mache is also from Concordia University, Nebraska, so he is a local product from around here as well, so staying around the Omaha area.
Check swing, did he go? Yes, he did. It's a strikeout for Zaborotsky against Mache, and the second out of the inning.
Thought he checked his swing, thought he held back a little bit, but we've got a great umpiring crew today who is 4 deep. This is the first time we've seen 4 umpires on a Corn Belt League field in action this season, and it comes at a pristine time. We got an umpire at home, third, second, and first, which is in standard MLB umpire crew.
First pitch swung on, contact made from Weiss, but it's foul. He'll step back in with the 0-1 count. Here's the 0-1 from Zaborotsky. Big pitch in there for a strike. It's that breaking ball that has a little bit of horizontal motion on it from Zaborotsky. A great pitch for the 0-2. 2 away in the bottom of the 5th. Here's the 0-2 from Zaborotsky. Just low, and You saw Weiss kind of bending down at that one. That's how you know that one's close.
That was a very close call right there. The umpire has to make a bang-bang play. It's right there on the corner. It's 1-2. He can still win this at bat.
Here's a 1-2. In there, strike three. Got him looking. And Zaborotsky continues his dominance. We'll head to the top of the 6th inning. Filth Ballers lead by 2 here at Iowa Western. At the Iowa Western baseball complex here. Just still stuck in my soccer mind as we get set for the top of the 6th inning between the Filth Ballers and the Red Raiders. A pretty even game throughout. The Filth Ballers, though, had the advantage on the scoreboard. It's 3-1 here in the top of the 6th. Brugman up to bat. Lyndon Brugman, the outfielder, swings and makes contact on the first pitch into right center field, and it's going to drop for a single. Brugman, a long turn around the corner, but he'll head back to first. So takes the first pitch he sees, turns on it into right center field. It's a leadoff baseman for the Filth Ballers.
He did not want to see anything else from Brecken Sylvain right there. He wanted to take that first pitch, and it was a great first pitch Sylvain gave him. Took it out to right field, and, you know, first pitch strike, you're hacking at it, and that's exactly why the Filth Ballers are in the position that they are right now.
Yeah, Sylvain came in the last inning in relief for another pitcher that came in after Austin for the Red Raiders. And, well, he's pitched well. He's given him strikes, and Brugman turns on that strike and turns it into a base. As Peyton Larson steps up to the plate, Brugman on first. Good strike there from Sylvain.
Sylvain is going to load up the strike zone, as you will see Evan Metzler warming up in the bullpen for the Omaha Filth Ballers.
So Zaborotsky may be approaching his final innings here soon, as Metzler, another good man to put in the bullpen, as it's a strikeout for Sylvain, so he'll get Larson out on strikes, and it'll be the right fielder from Southeast CC, Bruce. We call him a right fielder. He's mainly a pitcher by trade, but he had that big 2 RBI hit into left field to give the Filth Ballers the lead in the top of the 4th inning. And he hasn't made a mistake out in right field. I don't know if the ball has been hit to him just yet.
He has had one play out there, one put out, but yeah, he's been really good today. Like, you could tell he was kind of nervous talking to Francisco. He was saying that he was kind of pleading to get plays out there. He's a natural infielder and pitcher, but wanted those outfield reps.
This one chopped up, a chance to turn 2. Instead, stepping on the bag, throw to first off the line, but picked by Weiss, not in time. Brugman is out at second, though. So it'll be a fielder's choice for Bruce, who heads over to first.
That'll be, like you said, a fielder's choice. Really speedy getting down the line. He was burning those wheels getting down that first base line. He was going to beat that out no matter what. And now you got Tristan Brandt stepping up here.
Yeah, we've seen Bruce in a couple of pinch running appearances at the plate, on the base pads, but never at the plate for this team as Brandt is up, the extra hitter, with Bruce on first. And Bruce on the season has not attempted to steal a base, although we have seen him on the base pads before this game. There's that pitch outside, so we know he's got speed out there on the base pads. We just don't know if he knows when to jump correctly. Big contact from Brandt, but it's straight up into the infield. Catch is made, and that will be it for the Filth Ballers here in the top of the 6th inning. They retain their 3-1 lead. Don't add on to it. A chance for the Red Raiders to slowly climb back here in the bottom of the 6th when we return here on the CBLN. It's 6 outs remaining for the Red Raiders as they try and claw their way back into this one. After taking a lead in the 2nd inning, it was 2 consecutive innings. The Filth Ballers scored 2 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th. Now they just have 6 outs left in their Corn Belt League season as they try and mount a comeback. Up first, J.J. Schubert, the right fielder. He's got an absolute cannon, an absolute beauty of hair. He loses his hat very often out in the outfield. We've seen it a few times just today, and letting those locks free as he takes the first pitch for 1-0.
You have a lot of great hair in the league. Tristan Brandt for the Filth Ballers, great hair. J.J. Schubert, great hair. Arnav, great hair.
I don't know about that one. As we set for the 1-0, it's inside for 2-0.
I do not have great hair.
We'll get there eventually. We all grow into our hair phases. J.J. Schubert has some great hair. Some great top tier as we get set for the 2-0. It's in there. It's just high for ball 3. As J.J. Schubert steps back in for the 3-0. Takes on 3-0. It's a strike called. Schubert started to head over to first. He thought it was low. Instead, it's a 3-1 count. (3-1) now for Schubert. Trying to get on base and help the Red Raiders claw back as that one finally misses, and J.J. Schubert finally gets over to first base.
That's a great at-bat right there from J.J. Schubert. Now you go back to the top of the order. That's clutch. You go back to the top of the order. No outs. Blank canvas. That's exactly what Zach Young and this Red Raiders squad need. There's still life in the boat for the Red Raiders.
And like you said, Zach Young acting as coach. Hosey not here, unfortunately. Hosey last year as well was in this spot in the Corn Belt League final with the Omaha Haymakers, who he was coaching at the time. fell just short to the Filth Ballers, who won their 3rd consecutive time. They're here seeking their 4th consecutive title. They're well on their way with a 3-1 lead, but the Red Raiders trying to fight back here in the bottom of the 6th. One runner on is Schubert. Spies up to bat, the leadoff man. Big swing and a miss there from Spies. It's going to be an 0-1 count.
Spies not known for having the best power. He's more of a contact guy, get you on base, steal, hit and run type of situations, but he was swinging for the fences right there. He wanted to tie this ball game up here in the bottom of the 6th.
Tying man at the plate is Spies, like you just said, Ethan. Here's the 0-1. Contact high into left center. Brugman makes the catch eventually, and it'll be one away here in the bottom of the 6th.
You hold your breath in those types of situations when you got 2 outfielders converging on one another. You got to think that, you know, they're afraid of running into each other, but communication is key. It's just like a relationship. Communication is key. You want to talk to each other, call it off. I've called off a couple things in my life.
Yeah, and Brugman calls off Larson there to make the catch for one away in the bottom of the 6th. Good pitch there from Zaborotsky, who's still out there for the 0-1.
Chris Calhoun, very fast. He leads the league in stolen bases, which the Red Raiders lead the league in stolen bases as well.
As the throw over to first, trying to catch J.J. Schubert napping, but cannot do so as he'll head back, slide head first into the bag. Here's the 0-1. On the inside, it'll be 1-1.
J.J. Schubert's only got 3 stolen bases this year. He's not a big stolen base threat. He's got caught stealing once. So he's only gone 4 times this whole season. So not a big threat, but I guess they could send him if it is necessary.
That one outside for 2-1. You got to wonder how many of these stolen bases really come from those wild pitches, those pass balls. So 24 is a high number for Calhoun. You don't know how many of those are actually stolen bases where there was a play to be made. But either way, a free bag is a free bag, and Calhoun will take as many of them as possible. Big swing and a miss there for 2-2, and he wanted, just like Spies did, he wanted all of that one.
Yeah, he wanted to body that ball. He wanted to barrel that one up, drive it down the third base line. That's what you can kind of do with those inside pitches. He's got a 2-2 count right here.
Here's the 2-2 from Zaborotsky. Instead, it's a pickoff throw over to first. A good throw and a good tag applied by Rivers, but it's just a little too late for Schubert, who's back in time. And once again, I don't think Schubert is going to be your base stealing threat. No matter how aggressive this Red Raiders team is, we saw it with Beasley earlier on. You don't want to risk giving up that runner on first.
It's interesting that they're looking over to them that much. He's only ran 4 times this season.
2-2, foul ball, headed towards the press box, but the netting here at Iowa Western stops it from reaching us, and we'll go again on the 2-2.
I'm going to catch that. If there's no net, I'm getting my mitts on that. That's all me. That's all me.
I would trust you with that one. Former baseball player beside me, so I'm all covered here in the press box. So here's a 2-2 hanging curveball as well inside for 3-2.
And Chris Calhoun is in the driver's seat. This is interesting how Zaborotsky is going to attack this full count pitch. It'll be interesting. This could be a pivotal game-changing moment right here in this ball game.
Here's a full count pitch. Runner on first is Schubert. Well over the head. I think that hit him in the head, but either way, it's a free bag for Calhoun. Schubert moves over to second. And it'll bring up Brisbois. If there's anyone to bring this game back with a swing of a bat, it is Brisbois.
Hypothetically, it would have been better for Chris Calhoun to duck. That ball would have gone to the backstop. We could have J.J. Schubert on third base. It could be runners on the corners. Hypothetically, that did not happen. So now we've got runners on first and second here. And it looks like we might see a change at pitcher with head coach Jonathan Francisco going out.
I was going to say, with a ball coming at your head, I don't think you're thinking about the hypotheticals about the base runner. You're just trying to duck out of the way.
Hypothetically.
But hypothetically, you are correct. It'll be a call to the mound here potentially as we see Zaborotsky in a meeting. But we're waiting on the official call here as Francisco continues to talk with Zaborotsky. But as of now, I mean, an incredible 85 pitches thrown through 5 1/3. I mean, he's done a really good job out there after adjusting, after giving up that run in the second inning.
100%. It looks like he's going to stay in the ball game. Francisco is trusting in his starting pitcher. 53 total strikes, 32 total balls. That's exactly what you need from your starting pitcher, and he's only given up 1 earned run on 2 hits.
And I like that move from McCoy to stay out there a little bit longer, keep talking to Zaborowski, even after everyone else has dismissed, try and figure out how you want to attack Brisboy here. A dangerous hitter in a dangerous spot. Only 1 away with 2 on in the bottom of the 6th. And Brisboy, who leads the team with 3 home runs, looking to etch his name into history. First pitch in there, catches the outside corner for 0-1.
Brisboy is 0 for 2 in this ball game. He's due for a big-time knock, so we'll see if it can come here in the biggest moment we've seen so far in this ball game.
Here's the 0-1 against Brisboy. That one outside, and McCoy feints the back pick over, but it looks like Rivers was not ready for it, so he'll hold on to it as Calhoun returns to the bag.
These are the type of moments that separate you as a ball player from being clutch and not. You got to settle in. These are the type of moments that make you. These are the type of moments that you live for. You got to live in the moment, settle down, slow the game down, and allow yourself to do what you do best.
The 1-1 with 2 on and 1 away. Low and inside for 2-1.
Good stop right there by Cooper McCoy. Kind of back-picked it off the ground. That's a risky play coming off the turf. That ball can bounce a lot higher than you anticipate over your head, but good job by Cooper on reading the bounce and back-picking it, stopping what could have advanced 90 more feet.
Schubert's on second. Calhoun, the speedster, on first. Here's the 2-1. Up and outside. You saw the attempt there from McCoy to frame that one. He's done a great job of framing pitches today. Just couldn't get that call as it'll be 3-1.
You guys can't hear the Red Raiders dugout, but we can hear the Red Raiders dugout. They are talking and they're vocal in that dugout.
Here's the 3-1. Brisboy up to bat. The power hitter on this Red Raiders team is that one a hanging ball outside, and Brisboy will load the bases.
And it might be starting to get to that time where Jonathan Francisco might be starting to look to his pen, but he's allowing him to go out there. A base hit could score. Depending on how deep it is, it could score all 3. So you never know, as Braden Jackson, who comes into his at-bat, hasn't been playing to his standards so far this game. He's 0 for 3 with 2 groundouts to the first baseman, respectively.
First pitch, up and away. And you got to think here, if a base runner, if he gives up another walk or gives up some base runners, that call to the pen will happen soon for Coach Francisco. That pitch misses again for ball 2.
And we got Ethan Neeson warming up in the Filth Ballers bullpen. One of the most clutch relief guys for the Filth Ballers. It's Evan Metzler and Ethan Neeson that are warming up in the pen. This is high pivotal, high stakes right here.
That one in there for a strike. It's a 2-1 count. Bases juiced in the bottom of the 6th. Reminder, it's only 7 innings that we get here in the Corn Belt League.
You know it's getting real when we have to stand up in the press box.
Tension's getting high everywhere here at Iowa Western.
Got to feed off the energy.
That one outside, 3-1. The Red Raiders dugout, very vocal, like you said, Ethan. We can hear them all the way up here through the windows, through the screens. And the most vocal, Josh Ostin, the man who got relieved early on in this game.
He's kind of a hard guy to miss in that dugout, but he's up and he's loud, he's vocal, and he's ready to get some runs on the board.
Here's the 3-1. Strike, full count.
Braden Jackson, he's got to be careful. You don't want to get too vocal with the umpire. Arguing balls and strikes is a quick way to go to your car in the parking lot. So you got to be careful right there on the arguing balls and strikes.
Full count, 1 out here. Bases juiced. The Red Raiders need 2 to tie it, need 3 to take a lead. It's inside, ball 4, and it's a walk. 1 run scores for the Red Raiders. It's Schubert walking home. And it's still bases juiced with 1 away, and Zaborowski remains on the mound.
We might have an instant classic brewing here at Iowa Western, Arnav. This is cooking to be a great game. We've got just about everything that's happened that could happen. So This has been a fun game to witness.
So Jackson over to first, brings up Sheaver. First pitch in there for a strike. Navratsky regaining that confidence slowly but surely.
And Sheaver is the 5-hole hitter. He's the DH today for the Red Raiders. So a hitter that possesses the desire to tie or take the lead.
Check swing. He did not go, so it's outside for ball one. It's 1-1.
I got to say, you're starting to see a little bit more chirpiness happen. The emotions are running high. The adrenaline is really pumping. You could see that even with Braden Jackson in that last at-bat, adrenaline's pumping. You got to be careful. Got to play the game.
Well inside for the 3-1. 2-1, excuse me.
This at-bat is starting to get kind of out of hand. You got to think that Francisco is going to want to take his pitcher out here very, very soon. I'm surprised how he didn't do it a batter or two ago. As Quinn is getting up there. He's getting close to the century mark in pitches.
Up and away. 3-1 the count. A ball walks in the tying run. That's at third right now. It's Calhoun.
This may be one of the biggest pitches that Quinn Zaborowski has had in his young collegiate baseball career.
3-1 the count. Bases loaded. The Red Raiders need one to tie it. Here's the offering. Inside, ball 4, and it's a tied game here in the bottom of the 6th.
And that is massive right there for the Red Raiders. Tie ball game. We now see Jonathan Francisco going out to take out his starting pitcher. You can't hang your head, though, however. You went out there and balled for 6 1/3, or 5 1/3, however. But looks like Quinn's day is going to be up here in the bottom of the 6th.
The wheels came off just a little too soon for Quinn Zaborowski. Still an incredible outing. Adjusted really well after giving up 1 in the bottom of the 2nd through 3 scoreless innings, but then just kind of faltered here in the bottom of the 6th. We're going to see a new pitcher. We'll get you introduced to him when we return here on the Corn Belt League Network. Back here at Iowa Western Community College, taking a look at the new pitcher, Ethan Neeson from Allen County Community College. A pitcher who plays alongside one of his collegiate teammates at Anthony Nino, who usually catches for the side, is the DH today. So we're not going to see that familiar battery we've seen throughout the season, Neeson and Nino. Instead, it's Neeson and McCoy working together here for the Filth Ballers, all tied up in the bottom of the 6th inning. It's 3-3. A chance for the Red Raiders with the bases loaded and only one away to take a lead here late.
Neeson comes into this ball game with 15 innings underneath his belt. He's faced 69 batters. 19 strikeouts to 14 walks with a 1.40 whip, a 135 opponent's batting average, and a 2.33 ERA.
Another one of those guys, a really big relief guy, only has 2 starts on the season, so 6 appearances in relief for the man from Allen County.
And Shinez has the opportunity to be the hero here for the 3-seeded Red Raiders.
Just a year ago, the Red Raiders were 6-21, sitting last in the Corn Belt League. Now they're in the final. First pitch strike from Neeson.
Shinez has had a good day out in the field, and he's been really good out at the plate during the regular season. Kind of cooled off a little bit during the playoffs, but he has the opportunity to get this game done a little quicker, I guess.
The bunt showing. Good bunt. The run scores. It's a lead for the Red Raiders. Shinez does his job.
And that is a perfectly placed bunt, a hit and run. You had the runner on third absolutely fly home. That would have been Dylan Brisboy. who got a great jump on that bunt, flew home. It was perfectly placed. The only thing Ethan Neeson could do right there is take that ball to first. That's a big out, which that makes it 2 outs. But the Red Raiders get the lead in the process.
And a lead in the championship game. Huge from Shenez, the sacrifice bunt.
And now it's Ty Beasley, which Ty Beasley was the man who brought home the first run of the ball game for the Red Raiders with an RBI double in the right field.
It was Shenez who scored that run. So Shenez this time the run scorer turned provider as he provides the hit for Brisboy to come in. And Brisboy was, you mentioned, he was absolutely flying. I think he got an early jump on that. The pressure on Shenez to make contact, because if he misses that ball, that's a guaranteed out at home because it's basically like Brisboy's trying to steal home.
100%. That's a risky play. That is small ball played to perfection right there for the Red Raiders.
Contact from Beasley, but it's sharp behind him. And Beasley takes a long walk out of the batter's box. He's been doing that just about every pitch he swings at, trying to reassess the situation as the count now sits 2-1.
That is championship winning baseball right there for the Red Raiders. That is taking a risk and turning it into a reward.
They take a lead here with 3 runs in the bottom of the 6th inning. 4-3 now the score between the Red Raiders and the Filth Ballers. Beasley with the 2-2. 2 away here in the bottom of the 6th. That one just inside for a full count. 2 on, both in scoring position. Beasley could really change things here with one swing of the bat. But Neeson could also get some momentum back for the Filth Ballers. Here's a payoff pitch. 3-2, 2 outs. Neeson and Beasley calls time, building up the momentum here.
It's almost like it was a script, a Corn Belt League script written for this game, and it's being played out like Christian Bale and Matthew McConaughey in a Batman movie.
Here's a payoff well inside. Beasley goes tumbling down. Didn't hit him, but he'll walk over to first base, and it'll be bases loaded again.
And Jaden Mache comes up to the plate. Bases are loaded. Mache can do what he does best and piece up balls. Jaden Mache is one of those types of hitters where he's going to take one of the first strikes he sees and tries to put it in play. So be expecting him to swing early.
Well inside, Mache backs away from the pitch. 4-1-0.
First strike Mache sees, I would expect him to hack at it and get it in play. Outfield's playing regular depth, infield's playing regular depth as well.
1-0 inside, catching the line for a strike. Mache is not happy about that call. He'll step out and step back in.
And you can see Mache kind of pumping the brakes to himself. He wants to slow the game down for himself, allow everything to come to you. Yes, this is a big moment, but you still got a job to do.
Big swing and a miss. He definitely went there. And it's a strike 2 called for 1-2.
Mache, 1-2 count. Expect Ethan Neeson to blow a fastball by you high. You've kind of worked inside. You've worked low. Now you got to kind of work up in the zone. Expect a fastball high.
Here's the 1-2. 2 outs. Fastball high comes, but Mache expecting it, and he swings on it. And it goes right behind for a foul ball. He'll get a chance to do it again with the 1-2.
Yeah, I don't know what is exactly in Ethan Neeson's pitch mix, but I would go a changeup or an off-speed pitch. You went fastball back-to-back pitches. Now you got to slow something down and get him off speed.
Here's Mache. Swing and a miss. There's strike 3. A huge strikeout for Neeson, but the Red Raiders have got 3 back in the bottom of the 6th inning. They'll go to the top of the 7th. 3 outs left for the Filth Ballers to try and come back in this one. They're down by 1. We'll have the final inning on the Corn Belt League Network when we return. Back here at Iowa Western, final frame of action between the number 3 seed Red Raiders and the number 4 seed Filth Ballers, but then the scores are flipped. It's 4-3 in favor of the Red Raiders as, well, what's at stake here for these two sides? Well, for the Red Raiders, if they're able to get 3 outs here and not give up any damage, it's their second title. Their last one came in 2019. They're the last team to win the Corn Belt League title that's not named the Filth Ballers. The Filth Ballers have won 3 consecutive titles, 2020, 2021, and 2022. They're seeking their 4th in a row. It's a tradition of excellence when you're wearing that green jersey of the Filth Ballers. No matter what the coach is or no matter who the players are, you put that green jersey on, you're a winner. The Red Raiders, dead last year, 6-21. They have a chance to win it all just a year later.
It's the pig.
It's that pig, that dirty pig. The
Power
dirty pig.
of the pig.
The dirty
Power
pig.
of the pig for the Filth Ballers. I'm crediting it to the pig, and I'm naming him Oinkers. No, Chris P. Bacon.
We'll let the fans decide that one. As the first pitch is outside for 1-0.
I think Chris P. Bacon is a very good name. Or Hamlet.
There's a lot of good pig-related puns we can make here. As Sylvain steps in. Second pitch high for 2-0.
Hamilton.
Oh, man. You just keep on going.
Porky.
As we sit
I'm
here.
hungry. I'm hungry.
I can tell. As we sit here for the 2-0. It's a 1-run lead for the Red Raiders. Contact made. High fly ball into foul territory. Closing it under it. And making the catch is Brisboy. There's 1. 2 more, and the Red Raiders reach glory.
That is a very tough play, but one thing that's impressive about Brisboy is he rips that mask off, wastes no time getting to where he needs to be. Those are tough plays because you could be trailing back. That ball could sneak behind your head, and you have to make kind of an acrobatic behind-the-head catch. But he did a good job staying in front of that ball and allowing it to kind of trap it in his mitt, securing the out. That's a big first out for the Red Raiders. 2
more, and it was top of the lineup in Hillis. They've got Burnett and Rivers on deck. Really best versus best between Sylvain and the Filth Ballers. Here's the first pitch of the at-bat. Swung on. High fly ball. Still in the infield. Sylvain under it. Called off by the first baseman, Weiss, who makes the catch. And they're down to their last out.
And that is weak contact once again. Popped up in the air. Sylvain, that's the thing about his breaking ball, is you don't know how much it's going to break, and then you kind of have to guess at it. You're hacking at it. So, and now it's up to Matthew Rivers. This is the man you would want at the plate for the Filth Ballers. No, excuse me. Yes, this will be Matthew Rivers. So the big man from DMAC, Des Moines Area's Community College, can tie the ball game here, or it could be Red Raiders' victory.
First pitch, contact made right towards us to the press box, but the netting at Iowa Western stops it. You were ready for that one, Ethan.
I'm so ready.
It's 0-1. 2 strikes left in the Filth Ballers season, unless Matthew Rivers has something to say about it. Sylvain on the mound, the University of Minnesota Morris product. Had an incredible outing, 2 innings pitched so far, has only given up 1 hit. Second pitch upstairs for 1-1.
And you can tell that Brecken Sylvain is amped. He's got that adrenaline pumping through him. Matthew Rivers looks a lot more cool, calm, and collected. He's kind of allowing the game to happen.
Rivers could tie it up with 1 swing, but Sylvain could end it as well. Big shot, ripped in, but it's just foul. On the third base side, down to their last strike are the Filth Ballers. Back-to-back-to-back champions. They've ended the last 3 seasons holding the trophy. But it looks bleak here as the Red Raiders, a chance to go from worst to first. As Sylvain steps into the mound and Rivers steps into the batter's box. It's a 1-2 count here with 2 away in the bottom of the top of the 7th inning. The pitch. Just outside strike 3. I thought he got him there, but just missing the outside corner of the plate.
And on that Matthew Rivers foul ball, that was mere feet away from getting down the line and having a runner in scoring position with 2 outs for the Filth Ballers. Big 2-2 pitch.
Here's the 2-2. Down low, just missing for a full count, and you couldn't write the drama here worse. 3-2 count, 2 outs in the ball game. Your final strike, your final pitch. You're only down 1. 1 swing from Rivers here could change the entire ball game. It all comes down to this. 3-2. Here's Sylvain. Just fouled off. We'll do it again. Oh, all that build up, and Rivers stays alive.
Man, if your heart isn't beating and if you're not on the edge of your seat, then I don't know what you're doing. This is baseball at its finest at the collegiate level, and it's on display on your TV screen, your phone, right here on the Corn Belt League Network.
The man from DMAC against the man from University of Minnesota Morris. Here's the pitch. Just slow, it's a walk. Rivers stays alive, and the Filth Ballers have a breath. The winning run comes to the plate. The tying run heads to first.
Do we think Anthony Nino has ice in his veins? He has proven it in this playoffs that Anthony Nino can have ice in his veins. A big hit from Nino would be crucial here for the Filth Ballers.
Nino, the go-ahead run at the plate. Rivers, the tying run at first. 270 feet away, but it could all change here. First pitch. Down in the dirt in the backstop. Rivers advances to second. Tying run in scoring position now for the Filth Ballers.
And people probably don't understand just how important that 90 feet is that he's now in scoring position. A ground ball or a deep enough hit can score Matthew Rivers based on the jump that he gets on the hit. You got 2 outs. Anything in play, you're running.
And Rivers doesn't look like it, but he can chug along the bases with pretty good speed. As soon as he hits that top speed, he's flying. Here's a 1-0. Check swing, but it's still a strike for Sylvain against Nino.
You can see how quickly Sylvain is wanting to work. He's ready to pitch, and Nino wasn't even in the batter's box yet.
Sylvain looks in for the count. Gets set. Here's the 1-1. Contact made, it's foul. Down to their last strike again are the Filth Ballers, their second time in this position. Last time here, Rivers battled back for a full count and then drew a walk, advanced to second on a wild pitch, pass ball type scenario between the two. We don't know how that one's ruled just yet. As Nino steps away, the man from Allen County Community College who hit an RBI triple in the 7th last night to ice the victory for the Filth Ballers, looking to do it again here. The pitch. Runner goes. Contact made. But it's a foul ball, and Rivers will return.
That's really interesting on a 1-2 with 2 outs in the top of the 7th inning, and you're doing a pitch and you're doing a hit and run in that situation. I understand that you want to try to get him as quickly to home as possible, but what if he swings and misses, especially that pitch? That was outside and a little high. That's risky.
Well, you got to risk it if you want to tie this game. They're down by 1. 1-2 the count. 2 away here as Sylvain pitches. Up and inside, for 2-2.
Brecken Sylvain has not gotten that put-away pitch. He's been close. He had 1-2 and 2-2 on the last at-bat. He's looking for that breakaway.
What he's done, though, is force a lot of weak contact out of these Filth Ballers hitters. He's looking for it again. 2-2 the count. Down to their last strike are the Omaha Filth Ballers. High fly ball into left field. Closing in on it is Spees. He'll call it off. It's going to fall. Rivers ties it up. Oh, my word. Lost it in the lights, and it's a tied ball game.
I cannot believe what we just saw here at Iowa Western. A mental breakdown out in the field.
Beasley and Spees, miscommunication, missed the ball in the lights, and just like that, it's all tied up.
Just when you thought the improbable could not happen, it happens here at Iowa Western.
Final last year between the Filth Ballers and the Bombers, we saw two plays where fly balls to end the game, both the right fielders for both teams losing it, and it's all tied up. High fly ball into foul territory here for McCoy, and it falls harmlessly foul. We do have a courtesy runner here at first for Nino. It's Dane Garner from Concordia University of Nebraska. Wearing the number 23, was a product of Millard North High School, a player that I'm very familiar with myself, as McCoy steps back into the batter's box with an 0-1 count.
Nino was the hitter again, was the winner, was the hero again.
Here's the 0-1. In there. Strike 2. Still tied up, but a chance. The go-ahead run is at first Nino, who had the single to left field that was lost by both the shortstop and the left fielder. But it's Dane Garner running out there now for the Filth Ballers. Contact made from McCoy. It's sharp and into foul territory.
That gets down the line. Dane Gardner scoring, and the Filth Ballers have the lead. Wow, what a game. What an instant classic we have here at Iowa Western.
4-4 the score. It was Matthew Rivers who came around from second and scored on a dropped fly ball with 2 outs and a 1-2 count. As this one's away, Garner had a big secondary lead off of first, but Sheaver over at first wasn't there in time to apply the back pick, and so it'll be another 1-2 here for McCoy. Here's a 1-2. Up and inside, 2-2. McCoy steps back into the box. An incredible 9th inning here from the Filth Ballers. Down to their last strike twice, and it's tied. Is that one fair? No, it's not. Just foul for McCoy. He wanted that one.
Wow, that was a foot away from being a game, would have been a go-ahead RBI, whatever he basically would have ended up on. Cooper McCoy felt that pitch, and he laced it down the line.
Yeah, Garner's got speed over there at first. He definitely would have been around third and flying towards home. Instead, we'll do it again. 2-2 with 2 outs and a tie ball game here in the 7th. Final inning of action, unless we remain tied, in which case we do go to extras here in the Corn Belt League. Oh, well over the backstop, and it's Sylvain who loses control of that one. Garner over to second.
If you're Sylvain, you cannot let what happened to you in that inning slow you down. You got to just continue to go out there and pump some gas, fill up the strike zone, do what you do. You're still the man on the mound. You still control the game. You're still in the driver's seat. You just got to go out there and pitch.
Can't really get a good look into that Red Raiders pen just yet here. See if there's anyone active. As for now, it looks like Sylvain will ride this 7th inning. Already got 2 outs and a full count here between him and Cooper McCoy. Big contact, high fly ball into left field. This one caught by Spees, but the Filth Ballers did their work. It's all tied up. A chance to walk it off in the bottom of the 7th for the Red Raiders when we return here on the Corn Belt League Network. Back at Iowa Western, the beautiful baseball complex here in Council Bluffs, Nebraska. And, well, Not so beautiful fielding we saw there at the top of the 7th inning. A fly ball, a routine fly ball into left that Beasley and Spees either miscommunicated on or both lost in the lights. It's hard to say what happened, but either way, it led to Anthony Nino getting his second consecutive game-tying RBI, second consecutive RBI in the 7th inning. Yesterday, it was a game-icing one. This one tied the game. Rivers flying around second to come home and score, and it's all tied up in the final frame.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to put into words what happened. That's a lot happening in a half inning. But what's happening now is the Red Raiders up at the plate with an opportunity to win the game.
Seeking their first title since 2019 as that ball gets behind McCoy.
Any run in this aspect, no matter how many outs there are, wins this ball game. If we go into extra innings, that will be the second straight year that a championship game will go into extra innings. So that'll be something that to keep track of here as we near the end of this game.
Ty Poor at the plate, excuse me. He'll take a pitch there for 3-0.
This is Ty Poor's first plate appearance in this game. He's coming on as a pitch hitter. He is filling in. And what a time to fill in.
Right, no better moment, no bigger moment than this. He's filling in for Weiss there at first, and he got hit. It's a walk over to first base for Poor, who, in his first plate appearance, makes it to first base. It'll bring up the right fielder, J.J. Schubert, who scored the tying run in this one.
The script has been written.
The winning run on first. It's J.J. Schubert, blue helmet, red jersey, up at the plate. Showing bunt, he'll pull it back. It's a strike. The ball gets squeezed out of Cooper McCoy's glove. I don't really know what happened there, but Neeson, good awareness to run out and get it so that Poor over at first wouldn't advance.
Poor doesn't have a lot of stolen bases to his name so far this season. Under 10. So not the biggest threat to go, but has the option to if ever so needed.
Showing bunt. It's a good bunt there. Runner advances, and it's an out over at first. So runner on second is Poor. In scoring position, it's the leadoff man, Blair Spees, who did just make the mistake out in left field. So a chance for him to make it all correct here as we get into the bottom of the 7th. It's walk-off time. Get your clocks out. Runner on second is Poor. Blair Spees up to bat. Looking to etch his name in Corn Belt League glory.
What a time to be alive.
Big swing and a miss there from Spees on the first pitch, so he's behind 0-1.
Blair Spees can really make up for the mistake that happened in the left field. A base hit can score.
Down low for ball one, it's 1-1. Here's a 1-1 with one away and a runner on second and Poor. Down low, ball two.
Having a runner on first would honestly more hurt the Red Raiders because that was then enforce a double play ball and a force at first, second, and third. So you want to try to get on, but not have back-to-back runners on first and second.
Pitch outside, finds the zone for 2-2.
Big pitch coming up right here from Ethan Neeson. A strikeout here would be absolutely massive.
Neeson came in relief of Zaboratsky, who gave up 3 in the 6th. Big swing and a miss there from Spees, and he'll walk back to the dugout. 2 outs now. It's clutch time for the Red Raiders, all tied up in the 7th.
That ball was maybe a little bit off the plate. Blair Spees was just trying to poke at it and get that ball in play and try to advance the runner 90 more feet, but unfortunately just came up empty.
Big swing and a miss there for Calhoun, who's up now. Calhoun, the speedster. That one inside almost caught Calhoun, but he just moved his elbow out of the way in time, and probably a good thing he didn't take that one because, like you said, then that That triple play ball gets enforced, even though they only need one out. It's a force out at every bag. This one ripped into left. A chance to go. He gets through. Is this the walk-off? Yes, it is. He's going home. Ty Poor has won it because of a hit from Chris Calhoun. And the Red Raiders, for the first time since 2019, are Corn Belt League champions.
How about that? That ball got by Lyndon Brueggemann in left field. Diving efforts from Brendan Hillis and Carson Burnett. But Chris Calhoun, you are the hero.
3 consecutive Corn Belt League titles for the Filth Ballers, but the dynasty has came to a close. The Red Raiders, last in the Corn Belt League, 6-21 in the year of 2022. They turned things around in 2023. It's a Corn Belt League championship for the guys in red.
Wow, what a game from the Red Raiders. Just when you thought they were counted out of this game, they had a huge bottom of the 6th where they put up 3 runs to bring them back in this game. And then the Filth Ballers tied in the top of the 7th. Well, they were not done. 2 outs, runners on second, and they get it done all thanks to the hitting from Chris Calhoun.
Chris Calhoun, mainly a speedster, but he gets the walk-off single and scores Ty Poor. And what an incredible game. A storybook game with a script that even Disney, Marvel movies, whatever, this game script, incredible season, comes to a close with the Red Raiders as champions. But don't go anywhere. We'll have your post-game interview with your player of the game, Chris Calhoun, when we return. 2023 Corn Belt League season has come to a close with the Red Raiders on top. They win this one 5-4 over back-to-back-to-back champions Filth Ballers, but it's the Red Raiders who gained their first championship since the year of 2019. Final score 5-4. As we bring you into the booth, I'm Arnav Pokhrel, joined by the man who won it all in the bottom of the seventh inning, Chris Calhoun, the championship-winning walk-off single that trailed into left field. Chris, what did you see there on that pitch in that hit?
I was thinking fastball the whole time. The slider looked pretty good, and it's kind of tough to swing at that. But I was thinking right side up the middle, and I got a fastball right down the middle a little early. But I mean, it worked out.
Yeah, for sure. And then I want to talk a little bit about your opponent today, the Filth Ballers. You were a man who played on the Haymakers last year, and for those in the audience, the Haymakers lost in the championship game to the Filth Ballers last year. How does it feel this year? You're finally getting over that hump, finally beating them, and bringing the Red Raiders their second title.
I mean, I've been thinking about this since last summer. I didn't really do anything good for the Haymakers last year in the championship game, but I thought I would definitely change it today.
Yeah, and then kind of talking about that, obviously you've won a championship. You've done it. How are you going to go out and celebrate this win?
Like Joe Burrow.
Like Joe Burrow's a call. And finally, as you take a look back on this 2023 Corn Belt League season, what do you think you gained? How did you think you better yourself as a player?
Honestly, I get really in my head, but I've been working on this whole summer not to get down after a strikeout or bad outing. But, I mean, it translates to the players, so if I keep my positive energy, everybody else does pretty good.
And there you have it, Chris Calhoun, the man who won it for the Red Raiders, ending the Filth Ballers dynasty with that walk-off single in the bottom of the seventh inning. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Myself and my man beside me in the booth, Ethan McCormick. I want to thank the Red Raiders and the Filth Ballers for an incredible final game. I want to thank you guys for tuning into the Corn Belt League this season. As for now, that'll be all for this year. We'll see you back next summer at J.J. Isaacson Field. And, hey, maybe even some games here at Iowa Western. But that'll be all for me, myself, Arnav Pokhrel, the rest of the Corn Belt. Have a great summer, and we'll see you next year.